real affordability crisis, but the economy continues to expand, and that's because consumer spending comprises about 70% of overall U.S. economic activity.
Here's reporter Stacey Lynn.
The Consumer Confidence Index dropped nearly 4 points, marking the fifth straight monthly decline. While short-term expectations for income, jobs, and business conditions held steady, they remain at levels that can signal a recession ahead. Views of current economic conditions fell sharply, with the top concerns being inflation, prices, and tariffs.
There were more Jeffrey Epstein files released overnight, including many that mention President Trump. Scott McFarland reports it's not the content as much as the lack of transparency that's troubling some.
What I'm hearing from survivors is they'd like to see this just happen versus stretched out, where they have expectations raised and then expectations not met, or they're not getting heads up before things come out. They feel this is not the way to be treating the survivors who've been pushing for this for many years.
Chris Van Cleve reports the airlines are geared up for holiday travel if the weather cooperates.
You increase staffing. You plan to have sort of an all-hands-on-deck approach. The airlines know that when it's the holidays, things matter just a little bit more. So if things go wrong, that's something people never forget.
And in California, storms will complicate things. Meteorologist Zoe Mintz is tracking.
Christmas holiday is going to be very rainy across the state of California. Travel plans, they're likely going to be treacherous, and not only rainy, but very windy. Tonight and into early tomorrow, this is what we're mostly concerned about. 65 to 80 plus mile-an-hour wind gust, basically across the entire state.
Brown University has placed its police chief on leave after the mass shooting there. The school is also installing more security cameras on campus. The lack of surveillance footage delayed finding the suspect, a former grad student. The Powerball jackpot keeps growing. It's now up to $1.7 billion. Richard Hewitt of Madisonville, Louisiana, says if he wins, he'd be feeling charitable.
I give quite a bit of it away to the Cancer Society because my daughter has cancer, and I give it away to the Veterans Association.
Your next chance to win is tomorrow night, Christmas Eve. It's one of the largest prizes in lottery history. On Wall Street this hour, stocks are higher. This is for the fourth day. The Dow Jones Industrial's up 87 points. The Nasdaq is higher by 120. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
A possible Christmas Eve windstorm. That story coming up. At first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. In Seattle, you have maintenance on I-90 that's blocking a lane on northbound I-5. You're backed up to Boeing Field. Travel time Federal Way to Seattle, 33 minutes. That's about 10 longer than usual. And you've got a crash blocking a lane on I-5 southbound near Seattle's Green Lake. Travel time Everett to Seattle is 1 hour now, half an hour longer than typical. In Tacoma, you're slowing down on I-5 southbound near JBLM. Travel time Tacoma to Olympia is 38 minutes, about 7 longer. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Mariners. This holiday season, give the gift of Mariners baseball. Grab tickets at mariners.com/tickets.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch. Some weather models show we are in for a major windstorm on Christmas Eve. Other models say the storm that's headed our way won't be that bad. But if the storm does hit, meteorologist Scott Sistek with the Emerald City Weather Blog says it would be unusual because most of our storms come off the ocean.
This storm would be coming almost from the due south. So it's coming up from California. And so it's going to be like nothing's happening until the storm gets here, and then it's happening.
He says it would hit sometime between 1 and 4 in the afternoon tomorrow and would be over fairly quickly. The owner of a Maple Valley farm says some of the damage from recent flooding could have been prevented. KIRO 7 TV's Jack Billio reports.
Clint Williford spoke with KIRO 7 while he watched his land wash away. And even more importantly, pieces of the road.
I'm going to lose access into my property that could have been prevented.
Williford blames the issue on poor river management, specifically levee maintenance.
King County tells us the nearby levees were designed to protect homes in the area, not the road that Williford's concerned about.
Storm damage has closed Highway 2 between Skykomish and Leavenworth. And as KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin reports, it's unclear when it will reopen.
WashDOT officials say debris cleanup and some repairs are underway, but that process is lengthy.
An extended closure, and we just genuinely don't know. I can say that my team is working with emergency contractors tirelessly.
WashDOT tells us snow and ice are slowing down the cleanup and repairs.
Damage is estimated to be in the millions. Slow down, move over, and put your phone away.
We've just got to do better.
That is the State Patrol's urgent message after Trooper Tara Marissa Guting was struck by two cars when she responded to a crash on Friday. Spokesman Chris Loftus tells KIRO 7 TV in the week leading up to Guting's death, 6 other troopers were also hit by vehicles. King County Public Health says 5 people became ill with E. coli food poisoning after eating at a Bellevue teriyaki restaurant. 4 people had to be hospitalized, but they've since recovered. E. coli comes from raw meat. In this case, investigators say raw meat and vegetables were washed too closely together, leading to contamination that caused the outbreak. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy skies today with highs in the mid-40s. It's 42 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the show. Happy December 23rd, Tuesday. Jake Skorheim here. Spike, welcome to the show, buddy. Crickets, 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 crickets. Spike's not here. I'm by myself today. Laura's not here either. Just want to give you guys a quick update. They're both on Christmas vacation, but I love you more, which is why I'm here. I have asked for a producer to help me out, and they said it can't happen. It's not everybody's on vacation. So nobody loves you as much as I do, and I just want to get that in there early and often. You can text in your love for me. Please don't send pictures. 888-973-5476. I will do my best to respond. We actually have a fantastic show today. I'm so excited. We have John Curley, our very own John Curley, is going to join us in just a little bit. He's going to sit in. He's got some fun stuff to talk about. It's the holiday season, so we're going to do a lot of Christmas-themed things. This is my last show before the holiday break, and I'm going to head off and celebrate Christmas with my family starting tomorrow. So I would love to just have a fun show today. It's going to be great. We're going to talk about next segment. This is tease ahead, and if you didn't already hear this, you're in luck. If you did already hear this, you're going to be happy to hear it again. A few weeks ago, we did a story about Frosty the Snowman, and it's probably going to ruin your image of Frosty the Snowman. There's a voice actor who played the role of Frosty the Snowman, whose name I believe was Jackie Vernon. Yeah, here it is, Jackie Vernon. And Jackie Vernon had a very interesting life as a voice actor in the 1960s. I think he was actually a screen actor too. But he was in the 1960s when you just could kind of get away with crazy stuff. And he had, I don't even really know how to describe this, so we'll get into this next segment, but he gave one of the worst Christmas gifts that I have ever heard, the worst gifts I have ever heard a human being give another human being. And it's kind of part and parcel with this guy's life, apparently. And, I guess there was also some like Quaalude addictions and things like that, which help explain the gift giving. But we'll get into all that in a little bit. It's crazy stuff, but it's actually really hilarious. And thank God it was many years ago, because he would certainly get canceled if he tried to do this these days. But we'll do our best, even though he's no longer with us. All right. I got to give you an update on a story that we covered last week. Charlie Harger was in with us, and he told us a story that broke everybody's hearts, as it should. That's the point of the story, was to get people to take action and to shame public officials for their inaction. But there is a kid who is living in a tent, and he is in the Seattle area. He's nearby Aurora. It's one of those stories that when we covered, I didn't even want to do it at first because it was so depressing. It's the holidays, and everybody thinks about just the warmth of being with your family and all the traditions that we all have established throughout the year, and the idea that there are people out there who live on the streets and suffer from drug addiction is bad enough. But the idea that there's also kids of those people sleeping outside when the rest of our kids are counting down the days till Christmas breaks your heart. And I have 4 boys, 10, 8, 6, and 1. 3 of them who are old enough to understand the holiday and are obsessed with the idea of Christmas coming in, 2 days now? Have made these little adorable, just before December started, you get to the end of November around Thanksgiving time, and they make these little, probably most of your kids did the same thing. You make these little countdown calendars. You can buy them in what are those things called with the candy and the advent calendars? But they made their own. They have the advent things too, but we had to put them aside because they had candy and then they all fought. But they made their own. And so every night I would tuck them into bed. We'd read them a story. And they would say, all right, how many days? We'd cross off a day. And it's adorable. And as parents, we love that stuff. It's just treasured memories. And here's a story that Charlie had of a kid who's 9 years old and who neighbors keep calling authorities and saying, there's a kid outside and he looks really sick and he's not doing well. And his mom lives in a tent and he seems to be living in there with her. You guys need to get these people off the street. You need to take care of this problem. This kid can't live outside, especially now as it's getting colder. What was it, like 36 degrees at my house when we woke up? Imagine waking up 36 degrees in a tent. And this kid sometimes has to go and hide in the bushes because his mom is also a prostitute. This is like the worst story ever. And it's weird to start a final show before the holidays talking about this, but it's an important story because it highlights a real problem that big cities, especially cities like Seattle, seem to have, where they can't do the right thing and they don't seem to want to do the right thing. And it's a big problem. This kid has to go hide so his mom can make money with John's. She's a prostitute again. And he's just waiting outside the tent as his mom does this horrible business so that she can use it to buy fentanyl because she's apparently also addicted to fentanyl. And when the story came out, everybody was just like, what? How is this possible? And the twist on the story was that CPS had been called and Seattle Police Department had been called multiple times. And they went out and they visited. But because we have laws in our state that say you have to keep a child with its parent, even if the parent is abusing their spouse, even if the parent's doing drugs, because we have these rules and laws, CPS took a look at the kid, again, living outside, technically in a shelter, I guess. There's a tent. And they said, hey, everything seems fine here. Nothing we can do. Our hands are tied. Bye. And then they left. SPD, same thing. Can't do anything about it. Now, I'm not blaming SPD. I love our police officers. I think they do an amazing job. But their hands are tied. That's what we were told. And the story just broke everybody's hearts. Absolutely broke their hearts. But we do have an update that is kind of uplifting. And I want to start this off because I really do want this show to feel like an encouraging show. I want this show, just like the season, I believe, should be about hope and optimism for the future. Some light in the world. That's what the season's about. And so here's a little silver lining to that horrible, horrible story. I actually had a chance to speak with Charlie earlier. He didn't stick around because obviously he gets up at like 2 a.m. to do his show. But I grabbed him before he left and I said, hey, can you give us an update on this story? Because Seattle's Morning News had an update on this kid. So here's the update on that 9-year-old kid who was sleeping outside. Tons of people reacted to this. Huge response online. Lots of you were calling in, asking for ways to help. And here's the update from Charlie.
The update here, though, is that neighbors now tell me that they don't have specifics. The tent now sits empty, and they have been told that the boy is receiving medical attention.
Oh, good.
And that, fortunately, there is some level of involvement from authorities aimed at getting the boy the help he needs. Don't know the specifics. There are all sorts of privacy rules, but that tent is now just in the middle of a park. It hasn't been occupied for several days now, and it sounds like some level of help is coming to that child.
Which is fantastic news. I'm sorry that it took Charlie telling the story, literally going out there with a camera, documenting it, talking to neighbors who have been calling 911 continuously. Think about that for neighbors. you live in this area and you see this kid outside who's sickly looking. Apparently he's never been to school, according to the neighbors. The weather's getting colder, and you're just trying to figure out, is there a way we can help? Is there something we can do? And to be told by the city that, like, nah, everything's cool. It's all right. He's in no imminent danger. Like, we all know that as parents that that's not true, because our kids are tucked in quietly, peacefully, sometimes, not usually, but peacefully at night, hopefully, counting down the days till Christmas, and this kid's just shivering as his mom is a sex worker. So I think this is a fantastic update. Also, credit to Charlie for telling the story and responding when people reached out and said, hey, we need help. We need a voice here to get some action going. And I asked the question when I had Charlie on last week. I said, well, why aren't the cops arresting this lady for prostitution? I wasn't aware that was legal in our state. If they know she's a prostitute, I thought that was illegal. And how are they think that this kid is safe near these guys who are frequenting a prostitute? Also, isn't illegal drugs illegal? Why aren't you arresting her for illegal drugs? I'm not trying to ruin her day, but if it gets her and this kid into a better situation, then why not? And the answer was always like, well, it's Seattle. So I am thrilled, and thank you guys so much for your outpouring of response as well. I actually asked Charlie about that. I said, what's the listener reaction been like from this?
I just want to bring up real quick, not only did listeners to the Jake and Spike show reach out to me, but so many listeners of Seattle's Morning News texted, they emailed, they called, wanting to know what they could do. I mean, we had several listeners go out with food and clothing, hoping to find the boy. I didn't say exactly where this tent is.
Yeah.
They went out. I had a lot of people calling me saying, I have a roof over my head. The child can come stay with me. And I think that just really speaks to our audience. Think about this holiday season. We hear so much negativity in this world. This audience wanted to reach out with open arms and help this family. And I think here we are. It's almost Christmas, Jake. And I want everybody, if praying is your thing, whatever gets you through the night, I want you to think about this family. I hope the mom can get the help she needs. Dad is somebody who can finally accept help. And for that boy, maybe he can live the childhood that he otherwise wasn't going to. I mean, we saw the direction the story was headed. Maybe this is something that turns it around.
Amazing reporting by Charlie. We're actually gonna that's two cuts from a larger interview talking about this at 2:30 today. We're gonna have a little bit more of that with Charlie. So tune back in for that. But God bless that kid, and I hope the future is a lot brighter for him in the coming year. All right, we only have a few minutes left here, and I got to get to this story because I'm fascinated by this. It's a much lighter topic. It has to do with football. Has to do with a former Seahawk. Actually, did you guys see the story? DK Metcalf. He was playing the other night. He's a Pittsburgh Steeler now. And this is one of those stories that when I saw this, I was like, that is a dodged bullet right there. I felt so fortunate that we no longer have this guy on the team because of exactly something like this could happen. He's now been suspended for 2 games. There's some questionable, like what instigated this thing that happened between him and a fan? Is he at fault? Is the fan at fault for saying, for using racial slurs directed at DK Metcalf and DK Metcalf's mothers is what the claims are. I have some audio taken from in the stands, like right next to this guy. Everybody's got their phones out at all times now. So I'm going to play you audio in just a second of the interaction, which I think is going to put to bed that idea that this was about racial slurs. But let me give you some of the details. So this is let's see here. This is from the Detroit Free Press, December 22nd, which is yesterday. The Pittsburgh DK got officially suspended for the remaining 2 games of their season, which is a big deal because obviously all these teams in the playoff hunt, they need everybody they got. There's all these other ramifications, though, for DK Metcalf, which are crazy, and it's money. And if you ever want a good example for your kids about like making sure that you don't respond emotionally to things and you just instead like take a step back and like take a second, listen to some of these numbers. This is wild. So DK Metcalf, for the final 2 games, is going to miss out on his salary per game is, $555,000 for 2 games. So what is that, $275 or such? I'm not great at math. I can't do math good. Let's call it $275. $275,000 per game. Imagine every time you went to work, you made $275,000. You think you'd be a little bit smarter about not interacting with the fans? That is wild. So here's the crazy part, though. He signed a 4-year deal, $132 million deal with the Steelers. $60 million of those dollars are guaranteed, but the team has stipulations on those guarantees. So listen to this. So this is per Yahoo Sports had this, which broke down the numbers. This suspension, if it's upheld, because he's now obviously he's contesting it, and he's saying like, no, here's the reasons why I did what I did. The suspension will void $45 million in future guaranteed money over the next 2 years if it's upheld, according to CBS Sports' Jonathan Jones and reported on Yahoo Sports. His current contract for $132 million notes that if he, quote, fails to practice or play with the club for any reason, so a 2-day suspension for having an interaction with a fan. It looks like he takes a swing at a fan. That's what he was suspended for. He grabs a fan by the shirt cuff or whatever, or maybe like it's like a lay. He's got like a funny like outfit on, whatever he is. It's like a fan. He grabs him, he pulls him down, and they have this like tense interaction, and then he kind of takes a half swing or something at him, and then the fan backs up, and that's what he's been suspended for, this interaction. If the suspension is upheld, his guarantees would be null and void. It doesn't mean he misses out on the money. He can still, if the team decides to keep him around and he plays for them, which I can't imagine they wouldn't. He's having an okay season. He's not having a JSN season, but whatever. He's having an okay season. He could still make that money, but it's not guaranteed, which means if he gets injured, if he gets hurt in some way, if he just starts to be a horrible player, or if he gets suspended and they think that he's just like too much of a headache to deal with, they might just decide, hey, you know what? There's other ways that we can spend money that aren't such a headache. We're just going to like send him down the road. They don't have to pay him that money. That's not guaranteed. So this little interaction might have cost him $45 million, which is crazy. All right, so I'm going to read you this. According to NFL receiver Chad, this is, where was this? Oh, Detroit Free Press had this. Chad Johnson, former NFL receiver, he has a podcast called Nightcap, and he was talking on this podcast that apparently he has been told that this was all based on DK Metcalf responding to a fan using a racial slur and an offensive word aimed at his mother before this incident took place. Like, that's the instigator. That's what Chad Johnson has been told. Chad Johnson said, based on what I was told by a reliable source who wears number 4, that's what it was, Johnson said on the podcast. The fan, who we now know is a guy named, what's his name here? Is it Ray Kennedy? It's something Kennedy. It doesn't matter. He's a fan. He has not put out a response through his lawyers. He says, quote, at no point before, during, or after the incident did Mr. Kennedy use racial slurs or hate speech of any kind. Despite reports in the media last night and today, Mr. Kennedy has not used such language during any interaction with Mr. Metcalf or any other players in the past. Now, these two actually do have a past, which is kind of interesting. Apparently, DK, when he was playing with the Seahawks, actually reported this guy. According to NFL Network, Metcalf reported this fan to security while he was a member of the Seahawks during the Lions' 42-29 win over Seattle at Ford Field. And again, this took place in Detroit. So this is like a wild Detroit Lions fan who's just getting at DK Metcalf. And the fan says, no, I didn't say any racial slurs. What I did say was I used his legal name, which DK does not apparently like, according to the fan. And I would read it for you here, but I'm afraid of him coming in at me, so I'm not going to read his name. No, I'll read it. It's DeKalen Zacharias Metcalf. DK. DeKalen Zacharias. Yeah, DK. Wouldn't it be DZ? Wouldn't that make more sense? DZ Metcalf? Doesn't roll off the tongue as well. But the claims about it being about racial slurs, listen to this. I'm going to play you audio of this incident. These are the fans in the stands. Listen to this.
Hey, DK!
DK comes up, grabs the guy's collar.
Yup! Yup!
Now, the question I have for you, phones are everywhere, ubiquitous, everybody's got them out, especially when a player approaches the sideline and grabs his fan. Do you think that all of those fans, some of them Steelers fans, do you think they would have been silent if this guy were using racial slurs in the stands directed at DK Metcalf? It'd probably be on video somewhere, right? This guy probably would have been kicked out. I think they'd have an end to this pretty quickly, but I don't know if that's what ended up happening. We'll find out if the suspension is upheld. This made me breathe a big sigh of relief that DK plays for the Steelers now, not the Seahawks. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Next, I'm going to tell you one of the craziest stories you've ever heard about Frosty the Snowman. Probably one of the only stories you've ever heard about Frosty the Snowman, but this one will make you question your childhood if you were a fan of that lovable children's character. And the gift that the voice actor who did Frosty gave to his own son is one of the wildest stories that I've ever heard in my life. So I'm happy to share it with you. And a couple of my buddies have come in to hang out, and so they're just going to be hanging around, and I'm going to tell them this story and you coming up next. Stick around. Be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino.
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas, everyone. It's John Curley from KIRO Radio's John Curley Show. Remember, the greatest present you can give is yourself. Your presence is the greatest present. Besides, it's really hard to re-gift your Uncle Bob. It makes a lot of noise in the box. From all of us here at KIRO Radio and the John Curley Show, have yourself a Merry Christmas and, of course, a Happy New Year.
From KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision.
If you're over 50 and you've been diagnosed with a cataract, or your vision is changing as you're developing an early cataract, you could be a perfect candidate for K2 Vision RLE.
It's inevitable. At some point, typically in your 60s or 70s, you'll have a dysfunctional lens that eventually becomes a cataract. To restore your vision, you will someday need a procedure such as refractive lens exchange.
The question is, are you done with glasses? Do you want to spend your good, active years hassling with changing prescriptions and needing readers?
K2 Vision RLE can give you great vision now, permanently, and you'll never develop that cataract. The procedure is quick and painless, and our state-of-the-art custom lens technologies give highly predictable outcomes.
K2 Vision surgeons have performed nearly 100,000 procedures. We know when RLE is right for you.
Find out. Schedule a free Zoom consultation at k2visionrle.com.
K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers.
Guys, if you're worn down, putting on weight, dealing with low T symptoms, or ED, something's off. Ignoring symptoms doesn't fix the real issue. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering free full diagnostic panels. A $400 value. It checks testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. The key areas that reveal what's driving low T, ED, and more. Plus, qualified patients get up to 25% off select treatments now through year end. This gives you a clear answer on what's off and the steps to improve it. Over 120,000 patients have trusted Revive since 2011 because the results are real. Claim your free full diagnostic panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Our country is held together by small businesses. That's a fact. It's also a fact that 9 out of 10 of those small businesses will fail. Why? Because it's hard, really, really hard to build a profitable business from the ground up today. Pure Talk knows that. They started as a small American wireless company determined to keep their customer service in this country. It worked. And today, Pure Talk is determined to help other small businesses prosper by offering them the same white glove service the big guys get. Same service, same 5G network at a truly affordable price. Pure Talk is focused on businesses that employ welders and roofers, electricians, plumbers, HVAC techs, the people who keep the lights on. If that sounds like your business, give Pure Talk Business a try and see just how much you could save. Dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who understands the power of small business. Pure Talk.
Every season is a little bit different here in Washington, but I'll tell you what, the amount of rain never seems to change in the winter, and we have sure gotten a ton of it this season. All that rain, all that water, it's all got to go somewhere. And if it makes its way into your crawl space, that's when it can create all sorts of problems, including real structural damage, which could really affect your home. But more importantly, for the health of your family, the water in that crawl space could create toxic mold, and that has serious health repercussions. Thankfully, we have Crawl Pros. They can come in and keep your crawl space dry, install a sump pump and drainage, and reroute that water back out and away from your home. They'll also take care of any mold that may have been created. Don't take the risk. It's too important. The best way to learn if you have any water is to ask Crawl Pros to visit your home and inspect your crawl space for free. Crawl Pros will go where you don't want to. So if you're worried about water damage, mold, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
Cars for Kids reminds you time is running out to donate your car for 2025. Call 877 Cars for Kids now to secure your 2025 tax deduction and vacation voucher. That's Cars with a K.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
It's been fantastic. There's always going to be some sort of chaos, but you just got to have patience.
Advice from a passenger on what is expected to be the busiest day of the end of the year holiday travel season. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha is talking to people at SeaTac Airport.
Where are you traveling to?
The East Coast.
Okay. How do you cope on a day like this when you're trying to get through with all these people?
Just plan to be early, pack things ahead of time, leave a little bit early. Yeah.
And you drove from Everett?
Yeah, we drove from Everett.
So how was that?
Traffic was pretty light. I was pretty surprised. I think most people are taking the week off, and so it took us like 40 minutes to get down to SeaTac.
And what do you advise to people trying to get here and then trying to get through here?
Just plan to be here early.
Nurses at Seattle Children's Hospital have voted to authorize a strike. Pay is among the issues.
To say that they compensate us appropriately is deceptive.
The hospital tells KIRO 7 TV it is dealing with significant federal and state cuts and taxes. Nurses have to give 10 days notice before they actually walk off the job. A Pakistani native and U.S. Army veteran who was taken into ICE custody at a citizenship interview in Tukwila, he's being released. That's according to the Muslim advocacy group CARE. CARE says a federal judge ordered that Mohammed Zahid Chowdhury be set free from the ICE facility in Tacoma, where he's been held since August 21st. The Department of Homeland Security has referred to Chowdhury as an illegal criminal alien. Fear of ICE raids has some faith leaders across the country canceling their Christmas services. Archbishop Thomas Wensky is asking for raids to be suspended during the holiday.
Let's get a pause. At least, don't be the Grinch that stole Christmas.
The White House signaled there will be no pause. The U.S. economy was better than expected for the third quarter. The gross domestic product increased 4.3% from July through September. CBS's Javier David.
The data tells us the consumers are still opening their wallets, but they're really not happy about it. And a big part of the reason why is the affordability question.
Yeah, the Consumer Confidence Index fell this month with worries over inflation and President Trump's tariffs. On Wall Street, the Dow was up 84 points, NASDAQ ahead 125. KIRO News Radio traffic. If you're heading to the airport, you are jammed on State Route 516 westbound all the way past South Center and back to State Route 167. In Seattle, the maintenance on I-90 that was blocking a lane on northbound I-5 has cleared. Travel time Federal Way to Seattle, 33 minutes, still about 10 longer than usual. And the crash has been cleared from I-5 southbound near Seattle's Green Lake. Travel time Everett to Seattle improving at 50 minutes, still 20 longer than typical. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy today with highs in the mid-40s. It's 42 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. I want to share a story that I we had maybe like 2 weeks ago. I'm trying to remember when it was. And I thought it would be fun to bring in a couple of my Santa's helpers with me, my buddy Nate and my buddy Paul, who are both off of work right now. And they were like, hey, we're going to come down and visit you. So I said, great, come on in. So Nate is here. Nate, say hello to the audience.
Hey, everybody.
This is Paul. Paul, say hello.
Hello to the audience.
All right, now turn your mics off.
All right.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right. Did you guys hear this story when we told the other day? Nate, I know you listen regularly. Paul, I know you occasionally will check out the show. But have you guys heard this Frosty the Snowman story?
No. No.
You've not heard it yet?
No, bringing it up. No, I've
never
Neither
heard
of you
it.
have heard it. No, bring
this
it
is
fresh.
They're great listeners to the show, folks. Great listeners to the show. They haven't heard it.
It was 2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago, yeah, when we first introduced this. But you guys all know Frosty the Snowman. Probably the most famous version of the song is this Jimmy Durante?
Come a little closer, children.
That's Jimmy Durante. Yeah.
I've got a story to tell. Oh, gee. It's about a man you've heard of.
It's just an actor.
I think he was a lobster in a previous life.
A lobster.
He finished as an
this
actor.
morning.
No, a mobster. Was he
a lobster? I just said a lobster.
But may I begin my story?
He looked like it.
No, a mobster. Was he a mobster?
I don't know.
No.
Sold automobiles.
Frosty the Snowman
Kindest
was
mobster
a
I've
jolly,
ever heard.
happy soul.
He must have just been like an actor of some sort. All right. So he sang that song, very popular. You're all listening to it on your Christmas rotations right now. And it's beloved. Everybody loves it. He's magical. You put a hat on him. He shows up. Take the hat off. Winter goes away. He goes away. The guy who did the voice for Frosty the Snowman is a voice actor. His name is Jackie Vernon. Now, Jackie Vernon was pretty popular back in the day, but the most thing he's most well known for is this character of Frosty the Snowman, which this is what it sounded like when he did. And this is 1960s Frosty the Snowman Christmas special. Right. It wasn't supposed to be any big deal. I think Vernon, originally in the story that I read, Vernon actually took the job kind of begrudgingly, felt like maybe it was a little bit below him. Certainly did not think it would be the thing that like was his legacy that people remembered him by. But here's what you all probably remember.
Happy birthday! Hey, I said my first words, but
it's actually funnier to listen to this knowing that he had like a Quaalude issue, kind of.
People don't say Quaalude enough anymore. That's good.
Quaalude's not even a thing anymore. You can't even. They're not even like. They don't even have. That's not even a problem anymore.
That's true.
It's an old style drug, but he suffered from this. It was awful, and this kid says it was a real struggle for him. But he got past it eventually. But the Frosty the character makes me laugh. I think it's kind of funny. So his son David Vernon was on a podcast recently, and he was telling these stories about his dad, and he was talking about how his dad not only didn't really love the legacy of this Frosty the Snowman thing. He had these other secret families, which he discovered one, I mean, almost like a horrible Christmas tale, but this like a Christmas memory of his. Like somebody comes knocking on the door, and it's a lady and his other kid. And this is not the only other secret family that he had. Listen to this. This is David Vernon, son of Jackie Vernon, talking about discovering that his dad had this kind of other side.
I don't know who answered the door. I might have answered the door, and there was a woman there with a kid who was older than I was. He was probably in his late teens, and he was a little rough around the edges looking. And the woman asked to speak to my dad, and I said, my dad's on the road. He's not home. And then
he'll be back Christmas Day.
I remember she was very firm. She's like, well, I want to speak to your mother then. So my mom came, and I guess she assessed what the situation was right away, but my mom told me to go upstairs and talk to her. But I heard like a somewhat heated conversation going on. And then a couple minutes later they left, and I had to know. I was like, so I asked my mom, who was that? And it finally kind of came out that before our family, my dad had been married at least 3 other times, which I was kind of shocked to find out. And this was before he became famous. One marriage, I think, was when he was, in the military, when he was like 19. And from these marriages, he had sons, and he named them all Ralph. After himself, after his.
Again, remember the Quaalude thing I was telling you about. This sounds like kind of a guy who's dealing with stuff.
But think about it. If you have multiple families, to protect
so that you're always using the same name.
Oh, you're right.
It makes sense.
So he's not caught in a lie.
Exactly.
So how many David Vernons got together at a family reunion and realized they all had Frosty as a dad?
Your dad's Frosty?
Wait,
I thought my dad was Frosty. Wait a minute, your name is also Ralph? What?
His original name, Ralph Ferroni. But he also abandoned all these families. He left them, moved on. My mom wasn't even sure if he had divorced one of the women or was even married to another one.
He just kind of disappeared like Frosty. This is David talking about his dad Jackie's thoughts on the role of Frosty, which again he's most famous for. And I don't know how much money these guys make in after it airs. What is that called again when they get residuals? Yeah, residuals.
But he's so famous. I just heard his name for the first time today.
Oh, really?
Well, I've never heard Vernon's name.
You're right.
Before.
I didn't either, to be honest, until we did the story originally.
Like the weather got warm and he just went away.
Yeah,
kind of like Frosty.
I just knew he was Frosty. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know David. I didn't know Jackie Vernon. But I bet you back in the '60s, people knew who he was. I think he was like one of those guys who would be on the game show where he's like one of the squares, and then you answer questions or something. All right, so this is his son David talking about Jackie not loving the role of Frosty, and then in just a minute, I'm going to play you the craziest cut of all.
I think somebody else had dropped out and he had the time to do it. He didn't really prep much for it. He didn't think about it. He barely told us about it.
Is it true your father said when he was asked about it, I guess all the other fat guys were out of town?
Yeah. He definitely, that's absolutely what he said. He had no illusions that they had written the part for him. And again, he thought it was just going to be a little something that aired one year and then totally disappeared and would be scratched off of his resume.
All right. When we come back, I'm going to play. We don't have time right now because it's a little longer than a minute. But when we come back, David divulges something about his dad, Jackie. And again, you got to remember, going through various types of addictions at the time where you might get ideas in your head that you think, hey, this is kind of a bright idea, but it's not. David woke up one night and his dad had brought him a gift. And this being the Christmas season, this when a lot of people are being generous of spirit, are giving things, I thought we would highlight this. The gift that David is given, you can try to make sense of it, but there's no making sense of it. It's clearly a drug addiction decision that his dad made, but it's crazy. And we'll play that for you when we come back from the break. And it's pretty wild. Also, I'd like to know, text line 888-973-5476. Has this ruined Frosty for you? If it has, I apologize. You're free to tell me on the text line. And any gift that you have received that maybe was given in best of intentions but received poorly, I'd love to hear those as well. 888-973-5476. We'll be right back.
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas, everyone. It's John Curley from KIRO Radio's John Curley Show. Remember, the greatest present you can give is yourself. Your presence is the greatest present. Besides, it's really hard to regift your Uncle Bob. He makes a lot of noise in the box. From all of us here at KIRO Radio and the John Curley Show, have yourself a Merry Christmas and, of course, a Happy New Year.
From KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Quiet down. Here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian. centenarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
I got to tell you something, Nick. I have really noticed a difference in your energy level since you started going to the Longevity Medical Clinic.
And you know why?
Why?
Because they actually balanced my hormone levels. And when they do that, the largest change I noticed was that now I could sleep.
And then not only get more sleep, to just get more energy, right?
Right. So that all of a sudden that resulted in me, I started running again and doing all these things that I felt so fatigued throughout the day that I couldn't do anymore.
Okay, so at this point, do you want to apologize to me? Because I was always saying to you, every time you say, I don't sleep, I don't feel well, I feel kind of off, I go, well, you need to get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. And you're always like, blah, 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 blah.
I know. But now it's turned into something fun that we get to go in together.
So I need to hear, you were right.
You were right.
You were right. I should have gone to Longevity Medical Clinic.
I should have.
There we go. Fine.
Yes.
You know the right thing to do. Get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. Take the free health analysis at lmclinic.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight. But when you can't work, care for your kids, or even put food on the table, that diagnosis can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to support Northwest Hope and Healing. Our mission is to provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. For more than 25 years, Northwest Hope and Healing has distributed over $3 million to thousands of local cancer patients, and you can help make a difference in our community. Join us on Saturday, January 31st for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of fine wine, gourmet cuisine, and inspiration at Mary Hill Winery in the heart of Woodinville wine country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support on January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and the results can last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. Using your own natural hair, Advanced Hair can restore your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning. All backed by Advanced Hair's guarantee. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing.
All right, welcome back to the show. I almost don't even want to step on these words. It's such a good song. This is everybody's favorite Christmas song for about 10 seconds. And then you just go, I've heard it so many times. We're talking about Jackie Vernon, who's the voice actor behind Frosty the Snowman, which everybody remembers.
Happy birthday! Hey, I said my first words. But
knowing this, I just got to say, I'll play more of this clip in just a second, but knowing this guy had many secret families, and it's just, it makes the whole, it does kind of ruin the Frosty for me. I got two of my buddies here, Nate and Paul, are hanging out because I'm by myself. Spike's on vacation, Laura's on vacation. So I said, hey, I need some people in here. I usually talk with people. So I brought some people in. I shipped them in from outside. But knowing that he has all these secret families that are like a complete surprise to his family. They're literally knocking on the door saying, like, hey, we've got this kid. I need to talk to the man of the house. He's also the man of my house.
Yeah,
and
once
the man
he
of other houses.
He's famous. Maybe you've heard of him.
Yes.
My dad's
He's Frosty, don't you know?
But snowmen can't talk.
I also love how he calls it snowman. It was snowman, right? Snowman.
Yeah, snowman.
All right, come on now. What's the joke? Could I really be alive? I mean, I can make words. I can move. I can juggle. I can sweep. I can count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That clip goes on and on.
I was going to say.
All right. So before the break, I was telling you guys this crazy part of the story. David Vernon, Jackie's son, one of them, was on a podcast recently. He was talking about his dad gave him this crazy gift. And since it's the gift-giving season, I thought this is a perfect opportunity to play this. And the gift that he gives him is wild. And I just cannot imagine how somebody could give a gift like this and not also end up in jail. But let me play you guys this clip, and then we can chat about it. It's kind of crazy.
It was the middle of the night, and there was a little knock on the door, and he came in, and he brought me Chinese food. And he's like, okay, David, I've got you ready for your birthday present? And I was so excited. I was like, yes. And I was just thinking, what on earth could it be? And he opens the door wider, and this 50-year-old little person walks in the room and just kind of stares at me. And
little person.
My dad said, David, this is your birthday present. And I said, oh, my birthday present? And he's like, yeah, he's going to take care of you. He's going to be your special friend. Every boy should have a little person. He said W.C. Fields used to always have one. And I was like, he's mine? This is a gift? He's like, yeah. He's going to live with us, and he's going to take care of you. He's going to watch over you.
He's going to live with us, and he's going to take care of you and watch over. He gave him a little person. It was like a little person. And he moved him into the house. And the crazy thing was, again, Jackie Vernon, God rest his soul, probably going through a tough time mentally because of the crippling Quaalude addiction.
Right.
Allegedly. Do I have to say allegedly? His son said it. He's no longer with us. But anyway, you give your son a little person. It was not taking anything away from little people. I'm just saying that's a horrible gift. And the reason he gave him the gift is because he thought to himself, I need to travel a lot for my work because I'm so popular and I'm doing a bunch of stuff. And also he's got the other families. And so he says, this guy will be there to help my son get to school. He thinks in his head, this is going to be a benefit to my family. And his wife is like, what do you want me? No joke. She's like, what do you want me to do with this guy? And he's like, well, just, keep him at the house. He'll help you get the kid to school. He's gonna need to eat with us and stuff. And he kept him for months. The guy actually lived there.
I want to be. I don't know how to handle this topic, honestly, sensitively.
Be sensitive, yes.
I am, absolutely. But what comes to my head is the Lexus commercials where it's like, surprise, there's a bow on a big car. And I'm just like,
that's a better gift.
How does the jump from a companion pet to someone caring for your child while you're away, it's mind-boggling.
It's insane. And then the way that the mom ends up getting rid of this guy is she realizes as he's living with them, because again, he's Apparently, Jackie
he's part
just
of the family now. Yeah.
Apparently, Jackie just met him somewhere, and they got to talking and found out that the guy was on having some hard times and didn't really have a place to live. He's like, "Come live with me. You can be my son's companion." And so what the mom did to get rid of this guy was she found out that this guy had a crippling gambling addiction,
No.
the little person. So she arranged, when they were going to Vegas, she arranged for this guy to come along.
And then just leave him there?
Well, she knew that if I put him in front of a machine, he's going to start, it's going to go badly.
Right.
And then Jackie's going to see that this guy's got, some drinking and gambling issues. And then it's going to, reflect negatively on him, as if giving the person of the gift was not enough.
Wow. How many little people do you think he brought to his various families that year?
That's another question.
I mean,
That's
there
another
could be
question.
7 or 8 of these people
I
out
hope-
there
I hope not.
in a support group gambling together.
I hope that that's not the case.
Me
I hope
too.
that that's not the case. All right. A lot of Christmas-themed stuff, a lot of cool stuff on the show today. We have a guest coming up next who is with a local auto museum. It's fantastic. They're doing one of my lifelong dream pursuits, and we're going to talk to him live in studio next. Stick around.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
What burning questions do you have? You can help drive the conversation by going to mynorthwest.com or text Choke Points to 888-973-5476.
Tuesdays and Thursdays on Seattle's Morning News.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
is leaking in rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Get a quote today at Progressive.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. A rare Supreme Court decision against the president. It's refusing to allow the administration to deploy National Guard troops around Chicago. Stacey Lynn reports.
The justices declined the administration's emergency request to overturn a ruling by a U.S. district judge that had blocked the deployment of troops. An appeals court also had refused to step in. The high court order is not a final ruling, but could affect other lawsuits challenging President Trump's attempts to deploy the military in other Democratic-led cities.
There was some mixed economic news today, as Michael Wallace reports.
The Commerce Department says GDP grew at an annual rate of 4.3% from July to September.
This is the strongest growth that we've seen in GDP in a couple of years.
PNC Chief Economist Gus Fauché says consumer spending and exports led the surge, but he expects slower growth in the current quarter and into 2026.
Job growth is slowing, income growth is slowing, so consumer spending growth will slow as households need to be a little more cautious with their spending.
Powerful storms are aiming for California, and travel conditions will be hazardous. Chris Van Cleve is tracking the holiday travel.
When it comes to driving, as we look at the weather coming in to the West Coast and the East Coast, you want to time your drive around that weather. It will certainly complicate travels for people on the roads in California as we get into Christmas Eve.
A federal judge has ruled that a group of Venezuelan men deported to El Salvador back in March were denied their rights, and the U.S. government should help facilitate their return. CBS's Camila Montoya Galvez.
Many of the Venezuelan men sent to El Salvador and imprisoned at that notorious mega prison were deported from the U.S. under the Wartime Alien Enemies Act of 1798. A federal judge in Washington, D.C. has ruled that those deportations were illegal and that they denied the people that were subject to it due process. And now the judge said that to remedy that, the government has to submit a plan to return them to the U.S. or to give them virtual hearings by January 5th.
Tom Hansen reports the Christmas Eve Powerball jackpot has risen to $1.7 billion.
This is the 46th straight drawing where there has not been a winner, so every time that number just goes up and up and up. 20 of the biggest jackpots have all happened in the last 10 years. More than half of those have been in just the last 2 years, and that's because of the rule changes. There are more ways to win smaller prizes. The rules include changing the number of balls in play, and of course, ticket prices have become more expensive now, too.
On Wall Street, stocks finished higher today. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A possible Christmas Eve windstorm. That story coming up. At first, KIRO News Radio traffic. In Seattle, a crash is blocking a lane on Northeast 45th Street. Travel time ever to Seattle is back up to an hour, 20 minutes longer than usual. And you're slow on southbound I-5 along JBLM. Travel time Tacoma to Olympia will take you 51 minutes, 20 longer than typical. If you're heading to the airport, you are jammed on State Route 516 westbound all the way back through South Center and back to State Route 167. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Heather Bosch. The Puget Sound region could get slammed with a Christmas Eve windstorm packing gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour. Meteorologist Scott Sistek with the Emerald City Weather blog points out this would come on top of storms that have already soaked the ground around trees.
If this pans out, it's going to be a pretty decent storm and there'll be some pretty decent impacts, and I expect there would be quite a few power outages.
He stresses not all forecast models are predicting high winds, but you'll want to keep your flashlight handy just in case. Highway 2 remains closed between Skykomish and Leavenworth due to storm damage. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin reports the timing is tough for small businesses.
Leavenworth business owners say they count on Christmas tourists to get through the slow months, saying they're now worried about barely breaking even.
We have thousands and thousands of visitors normally this time of year.
They tell us the weekends are still busy, but they need steady business on weekdays too.
This lack of traffic coming into town is going to impact many of the small businesses in town, including ours.
With Route 2 closed indefinitely, tourism has slowed to a trickle.
You can get to Leavenworth through Blewett Pass. The owner of a Maple Valley farm blames poor levee maintenance along the Cedar River for the flooding that is wiping out the road to his property. Clint Walliford tells KIRO 7 TV.
I'm going to lose access into my property that could have been prevented.
Kane County says it does plan to repair 2 levees near Williford's property, but adds the barriers were meant to protect homes, not access roads. Crooks are trying to take advantage of the death of Trooper Tara Marissa Guting, who was hit by cars while responding to a crash in Tacoma Friday. The executive director of the Washington State Patrol Memorial Foundation, Megan King, says scammers are trying to mimic the organization's Venmo account.
And they're actually now using our logo, and one of the accounts has Trooper Gooding's face on it.
If you want to donate to the Memorial Foundation, she says you should reach out directly to the group. An investigation's underway after a woman was found stabbed to death in the town of Milton Monday. Police say they got a report of an assault at an apartment near Milton Way and 24th Avenue Court. They arrested a woman in her 30s there. It's not clear what the relationship was between the victim and the suspect. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy today with highs in the mid-40s. It's 43 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 phenomenal hours left to go. A couple of highlights ahead to look forward to. John Curley is going to join us in just a few minutes. He found out that I was flying solo today, that Spike and Laura were off vacationing on Christmas break, which well-deserved. I'm not taking anything away from them, but he said, hey, can I come in and hang out? So John's going to come in at 1:30, and he's been reading up on all the behind the scenes of It's a Wonderful Life, which has got to be probably universally everybody's favorite Christmas movie. If you're really to dig down deep, it's a phenomenal film. Every year when I watch it, I find something new about it that I love. So he has actually found something new, and so he's going to tell us about it. He also does a Jimmy Stewart impression, which is pretty decent, I can tell you, and I'll let you guys hear it at 1:30, so tune back in for that. Right now, though, I'm really excited. I have a guest in studio. His name is Jake Welk. I only interview Jakes. So, Jake, welcome to the show. You're with the LeMay Auto Museum down in Tacoma.
That's right.
And happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Jake, thank you.
Yes,
for having
thank
me.
you, Jake. I like your name, Jake.
Good to be here.
All right. The reason that you're here is I saw this press release. You guys are doing something really cool at the LeMay Auto Museum, I guess in participation with the LeMay Auto Museum. You guys have this cool exhibit, this Route 66 exhibit. Yeah. And you have all these cars highlighting just the history of that route, which is, were you just saying it's almost 100 years old?
Yeah, that's right. So 2026 is approaching very quickly now at this point. And what's cool is actually 2026 is the centennial year of Route 66. So 1926 was when America's Mother Road, you know, our most famous highway, that's when it started.
Wow.
And so, yeah, so pretty incredible milestone. What we're doing to celebrate that is we are taking some of our authentic Route 66 era cars from the museum here in Tacoma down to Santa Monica, where where Route 66 technically ends. We're doing it in reverse.
Oh, sure.
But you know, for those that don't know, Route 66 takes you from Chicago to Santa Monica to the pier. That's, you know, almost all the way across America. So we're taking off right at the beginning of the year, right after New Year's. We'll be down there on January 3rd at the pier, and then at Mel's Drive-In, the iconic Mel's Drive-In down in Santa Monica, where we'll be launching the drive from there.
And this is called, you guys do this event, it's called the Drive Home event. So
That's
you're
right.
taking all these cars, you're going back to Detroit. So all this like American Muscle, Detroit vehicles, you're going back home. Exactly. And what are some of the cars you're going to be driving in?
Yeah, so we're driving.
These are all museum quality vehicles, which is a very high quality.
Yeah, and it's you know, it's funny. It's what we love about it is you know, for car enthusiasts or car purists, the event's a little bit controversial, right? People have, you know, those cars should be in the museum. They should be spotless, right? They need to be preserved.
It's like Indiana Jones. This belongs in the museum.
Right. And while that's true, we have you know, a beautiful collection of over 300 vehicles. We do have some that we keep in driving condition for this reason. You know, one thing about our mission is the preservation of automobiles is important, but it's also about keeping the cars on the road, right? And you were just mentioning, you know, American Muscle, and getting back to your question, you know, we're taking cars like 69 Camaro SS, 69 Cougar, Mercury Cougar.
Sweet. My mother-in-law had a 60. What you said, 69?
Yeah,
I think she had it. What was the first year of the Camaro? Was it 67? 65?
Yeah, mid 60s.
My mother-in-law had a Camaro that she ordered, because cars back in the day, it's insane. Like the price of cars now, like brand new cars. I think the average price of a brand new car is like something in almost $50,000.
Yep.
That's not even for like a good one. But cars back in the day, my mother-in-law, who had a fine job, she ordered a car. She ordered a brand new Camaro in like the color that she wanted, a 69 Camaro, had it delivered to her.
Yeah.
And I think she actually like wrapped it around a pole. It was not a good thing. She ruined it. And to this day, she regrets it. And she's kind of like looks lustily anytime she sees a Camaro on the road, which are few and far between now, because that car is 70 years old.
Yeah. Well, and just continually climbing in value.
Yeah, it's too expensive to drive. You don't even want to drive it.
Yeah, you know, highly sought after as a collectible. But yeah, I mean, you know, the Camaro was launched by GM and by Chevy as a response to Ford and the Mustang, right? Ford brought the Mustang in 1964 and kind of shocked the world, right, with the first pony car. And so the Camaro comes out as this, you know, beefy, heavy muscle car that's the competitor against, you know, the Mustang. So it's just, you have so much rich history and storytelling there with that era of cars. And so, you know, additionally we have, you know, the 65 Ford Country Squire station wagon, right, with the wood paneling.
Beautiful.
You know, so we're, you know, painting this picture of this kind of, you know, Americana Route 66. You know, these are the type of cars that families and people would have been driving, you know, in that era of time. And we're making all these stops along the way at these, you know, iconic historic locations as well.
It's like American graffiti.
Yeah.
Like you're just going to see all these cars driving down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Are you worried about them making, I mean, you're driving through some pretty harsh areas in the middle of wintertime.
Yeah.
Is that going to be an issue?
It has
How does the Camaro handle in snow? Like,
that's a great question. You know, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Yeah, no, it is a challenge, and that's kind of part of it is overcoming that, right? And we'll be in a big convoy. We have 10 vehicles from our organization and our partners that are going. And what's really cool is we've never done this before. In addition to our vehicles, we've actually generated enough buzz with this that we have over 24 what we call privateers, which are people that have just heard about this and are making the drive along with us. So we've actually encouraged people to get in your own car and come with us. So we have people who've been signing up, and they're from all different parts of the country. And they're going to be coming in.
They're going to meet you in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
They're going to head back to Detroit with you. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. And there'll be people kind of, you know, coming on and off throughout the drive, depending on where they are. You know, we've had people reach out and they're like, hey, you know, I live in Missouri. I'm going to, you know, gonna wait until you guys come through, and I'm gonna join for the Missouri leg of your guys' trip, right? So
it's like that scene in Forrest Gump where he's just running. Like, what's he doing? Then they start thinking he's some sort of a prophet, and then they're following him.
Exactly, and then you've kind of got this, this stampede behind you. So it's pretty cool, and like you were saying a second ago, about it's just going through these cities, right, in these rural parts of America, and you've got this, at times we're going to have police escort, and we've got these, this big convoy of cars. I mean, it's something that, these towns and these communities come out and rally behind it, because it's like, you see that coming down the road to your town. You're like, what the heck's going on here, right?
It's interesting, too, because you can't work on vehicles anymore. Like, if you have a newer vehicle, I mean, like, hopefully you're not having to work on your vehicle a lot if you have a newer vehicle, but you literally can't work on them anymore because you need almost like an engineering degree in order to do it. Like, you look at all these new EVs that are coming out, and EVs are great.
Yeah.
They have their purpose. But if you're not an electrical engineer, you may not be able to poke around whatever's under the hood.
Right. Well,
but some of these old cars, you get under there with a screwdriver and you can fix your problem.
Totally. And we've actually been, fine-tuning these cars over the last couple of weeks, doing that same thing in our garage at the museum.
You guys have screwdrivers too?
We do.
You can do that as well?
Right. And but to your point, we've been, because it's mechanical and they're parts, right? We've got a Chrysler 1960 Chrysler 300 going, right? And our team there has been, not taking it apart, but just going through and making sure.
Yeah, it's roadworthy.
Exactly, right?
Same thing we all do when we head out on a road trip.
Yep.
Get the tires filled up.
Yep.
Make sure you got fresh oil.
Yeah, take it around the block for, make sure everything's good.
Is that clicking noise getting worse? No, it's fine. You're good to go.
But to your point, though, I was going to say, it's almost like now it's like IT people more than like mechanics almost, in terms of like new cars, right?
Sure.
Like one thing that it always makes me laugh is like when you go to the dealership now, if you have a check engine light on, they don't go and open the hood and be like, let's see what's going on. Have you ever seen that thing they take out to your
just
car?
Plug into your car.
Yeah. They're like, I went in last year. I was like, hey, this is going on. He's like, okay, I'll be right back. He goes out with the little thing and scans the code. And then he comes back and he's like, yeah, here's like $3,000 worth of issues. And I'm like, you haven't even
popped the hood.
It's just odd that a computer code tells them,
It's crazy, isn't it, that's where we're at technology-wise?
Yeah.
A mechanic back in the day, I still respect people who can work on vehicles. I can't. I can poke around on an engine, but like I don't really know what I'm doing. I'll do more damage than good. But somebody who actually can get under the hood and actually improve a situation is something to be really proud of, and it's kind of a lost art.
You're spot on. It's a dying art. And the part of this drive and our organization, our bigger mission, is another piece of our organization is called the RPM Foundation. And what that is along with the museum, is solely built around creating grants and scholarship opportunities for students who want to get into a career in restoration and preservation, stuff like that. So we actually have apprentices all over the country at shops. And like you said a second ago, it is a lost art. What we have right now is we basically have, a generational gap where we've got shop owners all around the country who,
help wanted signs.
Yeah, and maybe it's a guy that took it over from his dad, or it's a family owned shop that and the person's getting ready to retire. They don't have anybody to hand that knowledge down to, right? And so I kind of joke, we're almost like a matchmaker for these shops, and some of these students, they don't have the resources or the means to get hooked up with a shop like that, right? You think about people kind of going back to what we were talking about with rural America, Route 66. You've got a young gal or young guy, in rural America who's, if you want to get to a big city, you talk about the cost it takes, right? And the cost of living. So what we do is we find these kind of people and we get them the means to be in a shop to get the skills they need,
We're talking with Jake Welk. He's with the LeMay Car Museum. He's doing something that is just a absolute bucket list for me. The idea of getting together, how many, you got 10 cars from the LeMay, Auto Museum.
Yep.
They're all beautiful old cars. You're totally restored, roadworthy. You guys are going to be driving. You're going to be switching out of these vehicles.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're starting on? Like, do you know what vehicle you're starting with?
I'm not, we are going to be switching around a lot. And I actually personally am and have a large media responsibility. So I'm probably going to be doing a lot of like
posting and
running and gunning and jumping around in each car.
Yeah. And where can people follow? Like if people want to follow online, because you're going to detail this whole thing online.
Yeah,
people
absolutely.
Can follow
along. Our website, we have a web page dedicated for it. It's aat.org/the drive home. And then on our America's Automotive Trust social media channels, it's just at America's Automotive Trust on Instagram and Facebook.
How did you get? Are you a married guy?
No.
Okay, that makes sense. Because
I'm single.
When do you leave for this?
I fly to Santa Monica on New Year's Day.
Okay. Because I was thinking to myself, and how long is this trip going to take?
It's roughly 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
In heaven. 2 weeks in heaven. It's going to be so much fun. I was thinking to myself, how did this lucky son of a gun get his wife or girlfriend to approve 2 weeks being gone driving old-fashioned cars and just like stopping and eating diner food all the time? That to me sounds like such a dream scenario.
Yeah.
And it's because you're not married yet, which makes total sense.
I've got the green light.
Okay.
Exactly.
You also seem like a young guy. Jake, you're really young. How old are you?
I'm 30.
You're 30, and you're the marketing director, right, for the LeMay Auto Museum?
Correct, yeah. So
how did you get that job? That's such a cool job. Did you grow up in the auto industry? Your parents, did they have a shop? Like, how did you? It is a rare thing for somebody younger than 40 to have any connection to classic cars.
It is rare. I'm very grateful and very appreciative for I've been at the museum almost 7 years now. Came to the museum right out of school, right out of college after I graduated. I went to Boise State.
Oh, cool.
Came back to Tacoma and kind of just got my foot in the door initially as a kind of an assistant role at the bottom of the totem pole, and over time have kind of left my mark there a bit. And I've loved what I've been able to contribute to. I mean, this drive, for example, is just there's not a lot of people that get an opportunity like this. So it's really
especially
cool
once you
thing.
Get married. You got to get this stuff out of the way right now.
I'm just trying to live everything up as much as I can right now before life catches up with me, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What I love is the idea that you guys are providing opportunities for kids who want to get into that industry too.
Yeah.
And, that's like you said, like those are really great jobs.
Right.
And we live in a world now where you can choose a different, like we both went to college and we both paid for college somehow, we figured it out.
I'm still paying.
Still paying in your case. I had, I'm a little older than you, so thankfully that's in the rear view.
Yeah.
But it's really, really expensive. College is insanely expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no guarantee of a great job on the other side of it.
Right.
And a lot of people just end up getting shuffled into that system when it's not even exactly the right thing for them. Maybe personality-wise, it's not even the right thing for them. And they end up with $150,000 in debt. Or you can choose a different path, and maybe you go to a trade school, or maybe you figure out how to work on cars. You want to open up a shop. I have a buddy who's a mechanic who has his own shop. He is turning business away left and right. He's literally booked out for months. You can't get in the door because people trust him with their vehicles, and he does a great job. And there's just nowhere else to find those places. We have these other friends who they drive Teslas.
Yeah.
And his wife backed the Tesla, and I don't know, it's into something. I don't know. It's a wife driving. So she hit the Tesla on something. They want to get the car fixed, and it was like a 7-month wait because it has to be at a very specific Tesla certified fixer-upper, of which there are very few.
Yeah.
Nobody else can work on them. You can't just take it in a normal shop. So these guys who have these shops who can work on not just specialized one type of a car, where they're basically just going to come in and like check your ID tag and just like wave a thing over it like you're shopping at Target and find out what the problem is and then replace it for $10,000.
Right.
There's people out there who will lovingly look under the hood and try to keep those vehicles on the road, which is super fun. So the idea that you guys are helping those, make that possible for the next generation is pretty great.
Yeah, and you're so right. I mean, I just think that there's something to be said about, there's no point in racking up that much debt I think that it's just,
for some people that's fine.
Yeah,
but for other people, you don't have to get trapped into that.
Yeah, I think our culture and society kind of says, you have to go to school, right? It's part of what you need to do. When in reality, you said it perfectly. I think there's so many other means of being successful, whatever that means to you. And I think when I was, listening to you talk, the biggest thing that reminds me of is just the passion for it, right? I think that's the biggest thing is, you talk about shop owners that do quality work, that are turning business away. People like that have that reputation because they love what they do. They love the cars. They love working on them. And that's the whole thing, is keeping that alive, keeping that, that dream alive, because there are people out there that they don't think they have an opportunity to do that, because we've gotten so far away from that being something that is I guess it's weird to say, but like regular career, I guess I'd say, the trade route has become kind of this, like you go do trade if you don't go to college, when in reality,
almost treated it like a secondary option. Where
I know people that make way, way more money than me that never went to school and are killing it.
Yeah, and they're not saddled with all the debt coming out of it.
And they love their job.
And
they love their life.
Satisfying life. They get to do fun things. They're working with the people they want. A lot of them own businesses now.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I love what you guys are doing. That's Jake Welk with the LeMay Car Museum, the Drive Home event. You can give us that website again, it's a mouthful.
Yeah, aat.org/the drive home.
aat.org/the drive home.
Yep.
Can they also go to just the LeMay Car Museum website?
We've got it. Yeah, they're kind of both integrated.
All right, you can find it there. Good guy. Jake, thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you, Jake.
All right, we'll follow back up. Thank you, Jake. All right, we got a lot more coming up. John Curley's coming up next. That should be fun. We'll be right back.
Thank you to all of our great KIRO News Radio listeners.
This is the moment.
For making the 37th year of Holiday Magic our biggest one yet.
It is a celebration that benefits Treehouse.
Thanks to your generosity and the important work of Treehouse, kids in foster care will have the holiday they wished for.
We ask you to give. You do. You always come through.
You can still donate. Just head to mynorthwest.com/holidaymagic.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would it leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. If your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection on the drivetrain, AC, and more. Get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value free.
Call for your fast free quote today. 800-303-4223. 800-303-4223.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done. With precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way. With a dedication to lasting quality. Trusted performance and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Fall rains can expose hidden roof problems, and once water gets in, the damage only gets worse. Is your roof ready for the season? Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. At State Roofing and Exteriors, we repair and replace roofs with a quality you've trusted for decades. And yes, we also provide siding, windows, decks, and gutters to keep your entire home protected. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
It's a cold winter night and your furnace dies. Don't let this happen to you. If your system's 12 years or older, upgrade now to a Mitsubishi electric heating and air conditioning system from Home Comfort Alliance and stay warm. Visit homecomfortalliance.com. How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and the results can last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. Using your own natural hair, Advanced Hair can restore your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning. All backed by Advanced Hair's guarantee. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
And good afternoon, I'm Nate Connors. A warning this afternoon of scam artists trying to take advantage of the death of Trooper Tara Marissa Guting. More from KIRO News Radio's Amanda Factor.
Crooks have been trying to mimic the Venmo account of the Washington State Patrol Memorial Foundation. Executive Director Megan King says make sure you are giving to the right account.
Ours is the capital WSP for Washington State Patrol, and then there's going to be a hyphen and Memorial Foundation. And each word, Memorial and Foundation, are both capitalized.
Trooper Guting was hit and killed on a highway in Tacoma Friday night, and King knew her well.
Best friends with everybody. Very sweet gal. It's a tremendous loss to our community and our family.
For more information, go to wspmf.org. Well, Amanda Factor, KIRO News Radio.
If you're heading to SeaTac Airport this afternoon, it's going to be busy today. In fact, it's expected to be the busiest day of the Christmas travel season. KIRO 7 TV caught up with this flyer this morning.
Going to see our daughter, who is down in San Diego. She's in the Navy, and her husband is actually deployed. So we want her to be with us.
Today, 159,000 passengers are expected to go through SeaTac. Right now, the expressway is packed from State Route 518 to the terminals. Plan on a good 10 to 15 minutes just to make it through this backup. And so if you're heading to the airport today, give yourself plenty of extra time. Consumer confidence in the economy fell this month with worries over inflation and President Trump's tariffs. The Consumer Confidence Index dropped 3.8 points to 89.1. That's close to April's reading when Trump first rolled out his taxes on imported goods. Seattle is among the top best U.S. cities to ring in the new year. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch reports.
Wallet Hub compared 100 cities on things like fireworks, food, nightlife, affordability, and safety. Orlando ranked number 1 for New Year's celebrations, followed by Las Vegas, New York, Seattle, and Los Angeles. Analyst Chip Lupo says Seattle would have likely ranked higher if celebrating here wasn't so expensive. In fact,
Seattle is dead last, 100th in grooming costs.
beauty salon and haircut prices.
But on the plus side,
plenty of nightlife options and music venues.
And Seattle won points for its fireworks show that lights up the Space Needle for a generous amount of time. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
And now your KIRO News Radio traffic in Federal Way, South 5, just past South 320th. A collision blocks your right lane. This is the only thing in your way between Seattle and Tacoma. That trip is looking good. Further south, though, Tacoma to Olympia is another story. You've got a 20-minute delay. Minor slowing heading through Lakewood. 3-mile thick backup along JBL Lemon, then more slowing as you head into Olympia. Here in Seattle, South 5, we're packed from 130th and Northgate all the way to the Ship Canal Bridge. From a couple of earlier crashes in the U District, Linwood to Seattle is a half-hour commute. And now your weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Today is the calm before the Christmas Eve windstorm. Cloudy and 45 this afternoon in Seattle. Tomorrow, a high wind watch with possible gusts near 60 miles per hour, heaviest on the coast. Right now, we're cloudy and 42 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. I was flying solo today, so I'm packing it with guests and friends and just holiday merriment. It's a lot of fun. This is my last show before the Christmas vacation begins. A lot of you are the same way. Thank you guys so much. A lot of nice text messages today. People texting and saying thank you for being here. And so I will say you're welcome because I love you, and that's why I'm here. Nobody else loves you as much as us, and that's why we hope that you keep listening to the show. John Curley joins us now, and he's sighing.
Ooh, wow, that's a lot of love.
That's a lot of love. What's the season? I'm expressing myself. I'm feeling like I want to express to the audience my emotions. You don't think that's a good idea?
I mean, to say that you love them more than anybody else, it's just a whoo-ha.
Is that coming on strong?
A little bit.
Stage 5 clinger.
Wow.
John Curley joins us to talk about one of, if not the best Christmas movie of all time. John, would you say this is the best Christmas movie of all time? It's a Wonderful Life?
Originally, when it came out, it was very dark, and it failed miserably at the box office because it came out, I think, right about the time of the war, Wonderful Life, and it bombed big time because people thought, well, this is supposed to be a comedy, but it seemed so dark for everybody at the time. So then they decided they would send out Jimmy Stewart out into the world of radio to try to promote the thing as much as possible. They did radio broadcasts for it because the movie, when it first came out, just people were in no mood for whatever that movie was about. I love it, though.
It's really strange because, and I heard that it didn't gain in popularity until they started airing it on TV.
Yeah, because when Ted Turner bought it, when he bought all the rights for all that stuff, and he had to run something, so it just kept running continuously throughout. It just kept going
because
and going.
It was cheap to run because he owned it.
Yeah, they already owned it, right. And then people were like, let's watch this movie. And then all of a sudden it became a classic where people are like, let's watch Wonderful Life this year.
So here's a question for you. Do you think that people love the movie because it just became ingrained in their mind as a holiday tradition, or
I call it the man-eater theory.
Is it actually a good movie?
It's the man-eater theory. Hall & Oates movie, the song Man-Eater is a horrible song.
Disagree.
Horrible.
I think it's the best song of all time.
No, it's the worst song. But the reason you said that is because it kept playing it over and over and over again. And then finally, I like that song. No, you don't like it. You know it. Have you ever listened to it?
So you actually don't think
Can
it's
you
a
find
very...
Man-Eater in there? Hey, is anybody in there running the board that's listening to this?
Brady. Check on Brady. Man-Eater.
Hey, welcome.
Hall & Oates. Man-Eater.
Man-Eater. Can you find that for me? Yeah. Anyway,
so you're saying that you don't think that Wonderful Life?
No, it's great. It's a great movie. When you watch it, everybody cries it. No, this is one that you're just saying they start to watch it and then start to like it. The Man-Eater
That's
theory.
what I'm saying. Is it? So you're saying that Man-Eater is not actually a very good song?
No, it's a horrible song. But because people knew it or heard it a lot, then you just keep repeating it. I don't think it fits into the Man-Eater category. But it certainly, people started watching it over and over again. But how many people actually really sort of take in what the movie's about? I don't know.
I watch it once a year.
And you cry? You still cry at the end?
I cry every single time. I got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
I think that's my own personal thing.
Yes.
But I cry every single time that I watch it.
When they all come in at the end?
When they all come in at the end.
Oh,
and
George, Mary, what do you know?
What does Harry say? Give us the line, and that's when I start crying.
Oh, man who has something about friends, right?
No, that's not it.
Is it Harry's thing about
That's the
friends?
brother. He comes into his brother, and he says,
"Oh, but Harry's here," and he gives him the money. He came back from the war.
"Oh," and he says to me, he gives him the toast, John. He gives him the toast.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
You
part.
can turn Man-Eater off. It's
Yeah,
actually
that's just
kind of ruining. That's our fault, Brady. No, but Harry comes in. He gives him the toast. I might even have the audio here. Let me play a little bit of this.
Look, Daddy, teacher said.
Nah, it's after the fact. Harry comes in. Harry Bailey. He's just come back. He's just won the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yes.
He's been awarded it by Truman. And everyone's sitting there, oh my gosh, it's Harry. And we just had this outpouring of love. We just got a cable from Sam Wainwright off in London saying, you can have up to $25,000. Stop.
Yeah.
George can't believe it. All his problems are solved. All these people love him. And Harry comes in and Harry says to my big brother, the richest man in Bedford Falls.
That's right.
That moment to me wraps it all up perfectly because it's a confirmation of all these things that George has been falsely chasing the entire movie. He thinks that if he can go and travel, that's going to make him happy. And he thinks if he can make a ton of money, that's going to make him happy and all these things. And he's just stuck. He just can't leave Bedford Falls. It's almost like he's cursed to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't realize to the end of the movie that this is like the center of your universe. It's just the people around you and your family and your friends.
Right.
And that actually makes you rich. It's not the money. Like literally, he's literally being showered in money by the end of the movie. And it doesn't even matter. Because it's the friends that surround him.
Well, he needs some money because if not, he's going to jail.
Well, that's true.
And he'd have lots of friends in jail.
Where are those friends going to be there?
Right. No, right. But that's the old adage that the richest man, the wealthiest man has friends, right? It's not about the money. It's about how many friends that you have or the quality of those friends. Just having a lot of friends doesn't make them friends. But yeah, my father always used to say that, it's the wealthiest man is the one that has friends.
Your dad was also quite wealthy, right? With money?
Yes, that helped.
Yeah.
That
Something
helped.
rich people say.
He retired at the age of 54. He never worked a day after 54 until he died at 82 or something like that.
Did he really?
Yeah, what he did is...
A lot of money.
Did okay, and then one day, I think whatever the Apple came out, he saw my brother come in with the Apple, what was that thing on the iPod thing on his arm? My dad said, "What is that?" "Oh, I get this thing. I get the music." "Did you pay for the music?" "This time you didn't pay for it. You kind of rented it." "What's it called?" My brother said, "Oh, it's Apple."
iTunes or whatever?
Whatever it was, yeah. And early on, my father bought, probably $500,000 worth of Apple stock.
Wow.
So then he just retired on it. So every time he needed money, he would just sell some Apple stock. So he lived on Apple stock from the time he was like 65 to all the way through to the end.
That's wild.
And I kept thinking, oh my God, he's going to have nothing left. My brother's like, he's got hardly any of it left. He's bringing it in. As my dad used to say, it's like if you pay for the gas at the airport, right? You want to push that thing into the rental car. You don't want to leave a drop in the tank. If you prepay, you want to use it all up. So that was the same sort of theory about his money, that you prepaid at the rental car, so you just nothing left in the tank.
Which is actually really appropriate because there is a sign on the wall in the Bailey house, actually in the office of George's dad, that says, all you can take with you is that which you've given away.
Wow, you really know the movie. Okay, let me test you on some trivia here. You ready?
All right, give it to me.
All right, Frank Capra was the director of the movie, and he hated one of the scenes.
True.
Exactly. Moving on to the next category. They were concerned that Mary wouldn't be able to knock out the window when she goes, "Well, you're throwing a rock at this old place?"
I can't believe it.
So she has to throw the rock at the old
Granville estate.
Yeah. What were they concerned about?
You just said that she couldn't hit the window?
Right. So you know what they had standing by? They had a sharpshooter with a rifle ready to go. So she throws the rock. "Oh, go ahead, throw it, Mary." And then she throws the rock thinking if she doesn't hit it, if it doesn't go far enough, they'd have a sharpshooter knock the glass out.
They weren't worried about the gunshot sound?
They would cut that out.
Oh, okay.
Come on now. Yeah, but they didn't realize that she
Bang!
played baseball or softball in high school, so she was able to hit the thing.
So she knew it. Listen to this. I had this line. I didn't even know you were going to give me this clip.
Okay, then I'll throw a rock at the old Granville house. There you go.
No, don't. I love that old house.
No, you see, you make a wish and then try and break some glass in. You got to be a pretty good shot nowadays, too.
Oh, no, George, don't. It's full of romance, that old place. I'd like to live in it.
In that place?
I'd like to live in it.
I wouldn't live in as a ghost. Now watch. It's right in the second floor there, see?
There you go. go.
What'd you wish, George?
Well, not just one wish, a whole hatful. Mary, I know what I'm going to do tomorrow and the next day and next year and a year after that. I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town off my feet, and I'm going to see the world.
See the world.
Yeah.
And then she does it, and then she hits it.
She hits it, yeah.
And he says, what'd you wish for? Can you do me a favor? I don't want to impress upon your time, but it's the holidays, and maybe you can give me this great dear gift. We have to take a quick commercial break.
I got to get ready for my show.
No, I know, but I know how these things work. You got the time.
Thanks.
When we come back, John's going to stick with us, and we're going to continue this trivia game.
More
you guys
trivia.
Can play along at home and see if you know these, and it'll be just a ton of fun. It's a holiday miracle with John Turley. Stick around.
Miracle? Come on, George. Mary, what are you doing, Mary?
Thank you to all of our great KIRO News Radio listeners.
This is the moment.
For making the 37th year of Holiday Magic our biggest one yet.
It is a celebration that benefits Treehouse.
Thanks to your generosity and the important work of Treehouse, kids in foster care will have the holiday they wished for.
We ask you to give. You do. You always come through.
You can still donate. Just head to mynorthwest.com/holidaymagic.
The Closing Bell is brought to you by Trajan Wealth Management.
So Pure Talk just had their best year ever and asked me if I'd like to thank their customers on their behalf for being so awesome. I said sure. It's important to say thanks, especially this time of year, which is why, as one of their many satisfied customers, I should probably thank Pure Talk first for keeping their customer service in this country and for providing hundreds of American jobs. I appreciate that. I also appreciate their Roundup program, which makes it easy to support America's Warrior Partnership and join the fight against veteran suicide. And I love that Pure Talk donated 1,000 hand-sewn Made in America flags to veterans around Independence Day. And of course, I really appreciate their generous support of my own foundation, MicroWorks, and their commitment to help us train the next generation of skilled workers. Having said all that, it's now my pleasure, on behalf of everyone at Pure Talk, to thank you sincerely for choosing to do business with an American wireless company that actually stands for something. And one more thing. Merry Christmas.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
Attention passengers, we've reached 10,000 feet and internet is now available for purchase.
I just paid hundreds for this flight and you can't even throw in internet? I'll just take the free pretzels.
Sorry, but I do have snack boxes for sale.
I'm just gonna sleep.
In that case, we are selling pillows and blankets as well.
I'll just breathe. That's free, right?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
The Pacific Northwest is the perfect backdrop for the holiday season. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law reminds us that the roadways don't always agree.
It's that combination of additional travel, changes in routine, and winter weather that make this the most dangerous time of the year to be behind the wheel.
Any safety tips to help commuters keep the holidays joyful?
The number one cause of accidents remains distracted driving, even during the holidays. So store that cell phone in a place that eliminates temptation. It's imperative we set the example for our teens. Also, be aware of abrupt changes in the weather and prepare for it. Sometimes it's as simple as allowing additional distance for following or stopping. Lastly, make sure your vehicle is properly maintained for winter.
That includes four-wheel drive and chains when required at the pass. Please follow these safety precautions from my good friends at Pendergast Law and keep you and your neighbors safe this holiday season.
Happy holidays from all of us at Pendergast Law.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free.
Guys, leave weight gain, low T, and ED in 2025. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering free full diagnostic panels, a $400 value. Claim your free panel today. Call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
You know us. We're the heating and air conditioning company with the big colorful logo and the recognizable trucks you see all over Western Washington. You know us as the company that believes in the good we're doing and the impact home comfort has on your personal happiness. In its third generation, our family-owned business has been improving the lives of our customers every day since 1957. Call the experts in installation, service, and repair. Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Your family's comfort is our family's business.
All right, welcome back to the show. John Curley joins us for another segment. We're talking about It's a Wonderful Life, which I think is the best Christmas movie out there. Controversial to say, I know. John, yes. You were saying over the break about Uncle Billy, and what were you saying about Uncle Billy?
Well, it was weird that Uncle Billy had a crow as a friend, a pet. No, I was talking about the
He did
time.
have weird pets.
There was all sorts of interesting stuff that happened in the movie that people aren't aware of. Like, for instance, when George Bailey's running down the middle of Main Street there in Bedford Falls, which at the time was the biggest set ever built, 74 different stores, banks, everything else. He's running down the middle. Frank Capra, who's the director, doesn't like the sound of while he's running down the middle of the street because he's crunching on cornflakes, which were painted white. That was the snow.
Oh, wow.
So the technical team actually got an Academy Award for coming up with this fake snow. They had invented the snow, and then they got an Academy Award for the creation of the snow.
So all snow that predated It's a Wonderful Life was just...
Most of it was...
just painted cornflakes?
Cornflakes. Or then, I think in Wonderful Life, it was asbestos.
Is that true? It's not It's a Wonderful Life.
No. White Christmas. White Christmas.
Asbestos?
Yeah.
Well, that's not good.
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, you know.
It looked very real, though.
Yes, it's great. It's, maybe 30 years later. Couldn't be as bad as the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz, who was the star of Beverly Hillbillies, who actually had to be hospitalized for about 2 weeks, right? Because he
got poisoning from the paint?
From the paint, and then he had to drop out.
That's insane. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And that's the guy from Beverly Hillbillies?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, small
that's
world.
Jed Clampett. And the real actor's name was, come on.
Whatever his name is. Yeah.
Oh,
Somebody will text us and you'll let us know. Somebody will text us and you'll let us know.
All right.
Did you know that at the end of It's a Wonderful Life, I actually talked to, the little girl who's Zuzu?
Yeah, she used to live around here.
I talked to her on the show. I had her on the show last year. She's still with us? Can somebody look that up? I don't want to reference her in a negative. I wasn't going to say anything negative about her.
She's
anyway.
in heaven, if anything, or she's still living
Well,
here.
she would be, yes, because she's an angel. But I do think she's still alive, and but she came on the show last year. I didn't even know she was going to do it, but Spike surprised me. I was on Christmas vacation. He calls me. He goes, "Hey, can you do a quick segment on the show?" I said, "Sure." And I get on the show on the phone, and it's Zuzu.
Yeah.
She sounds much different than she did
I hope so.
when she was a 5-year-old.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right, Zuzu.
Attaboy, Clarence.
Oh, great movie. Now, you've played George a number of times.
I did. A couple times, yeah. Felix Manel used to direct it. We used to do it at the town hall there in Seattle. It was really fun. About 4 times I did that thing. Yeah.
Was it
Tom Tagney played my dad.
Oh, your dad?
Yeah.
I thought he was Zuzu.
He was like, what's wrong, Pop? He's like, I don't know, George. This Mr. Potter's really going down. I'm really hurting you now. Whatever he had to say. Tom refused to do any of the line. They wanted an accent. Tom's like, no accent. He never did an accent on any of them. But that was his one little line. His little line, he played his father.
Who played Potter? Was it Dave? Did Dave Ross do it with you guys too,
might
right?
have been Potter, yeah. I think so. Yeah, Dave Ross was Potter, yeah.
I miss doing stuff like that. I've never really. I miss that it's done.
Mm-hmm.
I really do enjoy those seasonal performances.
Yeah.
Did you find that the audience enjoyed
I love when
it?
Don O'Neill played the bartender, screaming at everybody the whole time. Yeah.
Or Nick, just kicking everyone out.
It's like, yeah.
That's actually just his speaking voice.
He had like 5 lines, and he was going to make everyone count. It was great fun, and we did it in front of everybody. And they packed it in there. Why they don't still do it, I don't know. But it was really, really fun to be able to do it.
So this season, I think this might be the first year I've ever done this. But in the past, I have watched it just in the original black and white. But they colorized it at a certain point. I don't remember when it was, but it's now it's available in color, which is amazing. Technicolor, unbelievable.
Yeah.
I usually watch everything in black and white.
You should watch for this scene, though. When George Bailey is at the bar and he starts to cry, they go to a close-up, but they didn't actually shoot it as a close-up, but he was actually in real life crying while he was doing, I think it was second or third take. So then Frank Capra decided, I want to be closer in on it to see him actually crying. So when what they did is they just they didn't push the camera in, they had to adjust the film, and that's why it's extra grainy.
What's crazy, though, when you watch the colorized version, you notice all this background stuff that I did not see in the black and white. Because black and white movies is all about shading and stuff.
Yeah.
But you see all of this new detail. It adds this whole depth to the movie if you watch it in color, which is fun. Have you heard the story? And we have about 50 seconds left here, but have you heard the story that Jimmy Stewart had a lot of stuff happen? Like, he went through a lot of stuff in World War II, and like a lot of those guys did. And he was actually suffering through some of the PTSD post-war stuff.
Yes.
And that's why he really so believable in that role.
Yeah.
He's kind of like losing it. Do you believe that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. He even talks about it in his biography and autobiographies. They talk about that sort of stuff. Plus, there's one scene where he's kissing Mary, and it was so intense. He was afraid because he hadn't rehearsed it at all and he hadn't kissed a woman in a while. He thought he wouldn't be able to do it properly, whatever, but it was so intense that they had to actually edit out parts of it, or they're afraid
really?
it wouldn't pass the ratings, yeah.
Oh, man, that's wild.
Some fun stuff in there.
That is some fun stuff.
Oh, what do you know?
John Curley,
yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Jake.
It's a wonderful Christmas gift
Tough
you've
being
given
here
to
on
hang
your
us
own.
around.
You're welcome.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We will be right back.
Hey, this is Sully.
This is Nate.
And we're from the traffic desk, as you know. I get you to work in the morning.
I try to get you home in the afternoon.
That's right, is right. A little harder in the afternoon, I've noticed, when I fill in for you than in the mornings.
Yeah, well, it's the people I work with, I think.
Yeah, that's probably it. This time of year, I want to tell you how much we kind of feel honored to do what we can to help you guys out. Merry Christmas
and a Happy New Year.
From the whole team at mynorthwest.com and KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back?
back. If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
More than 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients, and you can help us make a difference. Join us for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration on January 31st at Mary Hill Winery in Woodinville's Wine Country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
Thank you, Dr. Wagner. I have a really bad left hip. In fact, this other doctor's like, well, you're going to have to get a hip replacement. I was like, oh, my God. He goes, how old are you? I told him, well, you're going to have to wait a couple of years because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to both go to heaven together. I was like, well, in the meantime, well, try stretching, aspirin. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm in pain. I can't sleep. I could barely walk. I'd get off a plane and I'm like struggling to even make it down the ramp. I go to see Dr. Wagner. He explains to me how the stem cell procedure works. It's 90 minutes, and I'm telling you right now, I love it. So rather than surgery, make an appointment to see Dr. Wagner. It could be the game changer for you, like it's been for a whole bunch of other people as well. So whether it's your hip or your wrist or your shoulder, your knee, check out Dr. Mark Wagner. I'm telling you right now, stem cell procedure could be the answer for you, as it's been for me. You want to find out more? drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
When you start thinking seriously about retirement, it sneaks up on you. One day, you're planning kids' activities. The next, you're thinking about Social Security, travel plans, and maybe grandkids. You can't just hope your savings will stretch. You need a plan that actually fits your life. And that's where Trajan Wealth comes in. Hi, this is Ursula Reutin. At Trajan Wealth, you are working with fiduciary advisors, which means they're not selling you products. They're acting in your best interest. And let me tell you, you can feel the difference. Trajan is veteran-owned and family-run. I love that. They specialize in helping people with $500,000 or more in savings to protect and grow what you've worked so hard to achieve. Call Trajan Wealth today at 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300. Or go to TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The Supreme Court has ruled against the Trump administration over deploying National Guard troops in the Chicago area.
Declined to lift a lower court's order blocking the federalized troops, holding that the administration hadn't shown it was authorized to federalize the Guard, which is only allowed when the president is, quote, unable with the regular forces to execute the laws of the United States.
CBS's Nicole Skanga, a district judge, had blocked the deployment. An appeals court had also refused to step in. The economy grew more than expected in the third quarter. Analyst Charles Lieberman.
The increase in exports, the decline in imports had to be made up by domestic production. And so going forward, that's promising for the continued growth of the economy.
Another economic report showed consumer confidence is lower. The latest release of Jeffrey Epstein files totals more than 11,000. Many mention President Trump, but Scott McFarland reports it's the way these files are being released that continues to anger survivors.
This is becoming as much a story and an issue of process as it is about the records. This piecemeal patchwork way of releasing the records is infusing the criticism of the administration and how it's handling matters, that it's not giving all the records at once as it was required to do under the federal law.
A federal judge has put on hold a new Texas law that required apps to verify ages of users. Chris Fox reports.
U.S. District Judge Robert Pittman blocked the Texas App Store Accountability Act from becoming law until a full hearing on the merit of the case. State Senator Angela Paxton's bill requires app stores to verify users' ages and obtain parental consent for those under 13.
In the real world, minor children are not signing contracts, but in the digital world, they do this every single day.
Attorneys for the Computer and Communication Industry Association argued the act violated free speech rights. Texas is expected to appeal the decision. Chris Fox for CBS News, Austin.
There's a powerful series of storms aiming for California just ahead of the holiday. Meteorologist Zoe Mintz.
A lot of rain is heading to California, and that rain is only going to get heavier as that low pressure system, that storm system, develops offshore. It will be arriving late tonight across central and northern California and only getting heavier down near Los Angeles into the overnight hours and waking up early tomorrow morning, where waves of rain will be in place.
There is a threat of flooding and mudslides along with strong winds. On Wall Street today, stocks finished higher. The Dow Jones Industrial's up 80 points. The Nasdaq was higher by 133 points. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Take the next step forward in your career with great benefits and an award-winning workplace. Apply at careers.progressive.com.
Hey, dominant force of Seahawks have made the Pro Bowl. More on that coming up. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic. The malls are extra busy today, as you would expect, as is the airport. But getting there isn't so bad on most of our major routes. If you're heading into Seattle right now, South 5 is heavy from Northgate to I-90. Plan on 20 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. Over on the east side, South 405 slows from mid-Bellevue into Newcastle. Bellevue to Renton's at 25 minutes. Out in Kitsap County, southbound 3, it's bumper to bumper from Kitsap Way all the way through Gorst. That's about a 5-mile thick backup there. This report brought to you by all of us here at KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Nate Connors. Two 15-year-old White Center boys are now charged with bringing loaded guns to Evergreen High School last week. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
School officials were alerted that the student had a handgun in his backpack. A lockdown followed and King County deputies were called. 2 students were detained and 2 handguns with extended magazines were recovered. Casey McNerthney with the King County Prosecutor's Office says the cases would not have been possible without the student who came forward.
It shows that even other students are concerned when they see behavior like this.
Charges include illegal possession of a firearm. Both boys were placed on electronic home monitoring. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Nurses at Seattle Children's Hospital have voted to authorize a strike. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery has the latest.
They're not walking off the job quite yet. The union is required by law to give 10 days notice of a strike. But both sides have attended dozens of negotiation sessions, and nurses appear frustrated. Among the issues, higher pay, recruiting and retaining experienced nurses, more sick time, and rest breaks. In a statement, a hospital spokesperson says, quote, Seattle Children's is committed to being a leader in total compensation, but they add they're dealing with financial complications like federal and state cuts and taxes. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
6 Seattle Seahawks have made the Pro Bowl. Quarterback Sam Darnold, outside linebacker DeMarcus Lawrence, return specialist Rashid Shaheed, receiver Jackson Smith and Jigba, cornerback Devin Witherspoon, and defensive tackle Leonard Williams. Shaheed, Smith, Njigba, Witherspoon, and Williams were selected as starters. And now your weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. There's just barely a breeze in Seattle right now, which is the calm before tomorrow's storm. Could be really windy tomorrow with gusts up into 50 to 60 miles an hour. This afternoon, though, we'll stay overcast and a high into the mid-40s, and we're there right now. It's cloudy and 44 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
All right, welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, 1 fantastic hour to go. We are very fortunate right now. We have Travis Couture. He is a Washington State rep. He's also the House Republican budget lead. There's nothing sexier before the holidays and more fun than to talk about taxes. Representative Couture joins us right now. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me on again.
I think I'm going to call you Travis for the remainder of the interview because Representative Couture is a mouthful, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
All right, so let's start with budget stuff. There's nothing funner around the holidays. People love talking about state budget and taxes. Tell me a little bit about where our state's at right now. And I don't want people to turn the radio off. I actually want them to pay attention to this because this is important. We talk about this all the time on the show. Runaway crazy spending, amazing amounts of money that they want to spend on ridiculous things. And the answer seems to be at all times in our state with our last governor, with our current governor, with all of our state reps, it seems on one side of the aisle, more of your money is going to fix this problem that we have found ourselves in. Is that true? Is it because they don't have enough revenue?
No, it's not true. We have more revenue. We have historic revenue right now in Washington state. We have never had more revenue than in the history of our state, and it continues to grow. However, in the last couple years, or in the last year, the growth of revenue has slowed a bit to more realistic levels. But it is still growing. It is still a historic amount of revenue. And that revenue, assisted by the largest tax increases in state history last session that were passed by or signed into law by Governor Ferguson, is harming people on the ground and causing our state to be one of the most unaffordable places to live in the nation in various categories. But now, just last week, I proposed the Affordability First budget for the working class, which is the House Republican Caucus's budget framework, going into next session. And what it does is no new taxes, curbs the reckless spending, doesn't cut any services, doesn't affect healthcare, classrooms, public safety, any of that. It fixes Medicaid and food assistance, starts to lower healthcare premiums for people here in Washington state. And we did that by cutting $4 billion out of the growth and the waste in government here in Washington state. It has grown by more than double in the last decade.
Can you
people's take-home pay has not doubled.
Slow that down for just a second, because I think you're saying a lot of things that people go, oh, okay, yeah, that makes total sense. And we see it in our own personal budgets. Like when my wife and I are looking at our budget and we have something that doesn't line up, the answer is not usually, well, let's just go take somebody else's money. The answer is usually like, well, we're overspending somewhere and we need to dial that back, or we have too many streaming service things that we're subscribing to that we're not using, so let's cut a few of those back, or we're eating out too much, or whatever the answer is. It's usually like self-reflection, and it's not take somebody else's money. So how is it possible that we're told all the time that that's impossible in our state? We're told that you have to have more revenue because that's the problem. And what you're saying here is that you don't have to lose those services that everybody's always threatened with. If they don't get more revenue, you can still have those things and you can cut spending. How's that possible?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same common sense that any Washington family would do in their own family budget. If, just like you said, if you've overspent, you don't continue to spend more and more and more. You find ways to cut back on things that are non-essential, right? Like you mentioned, do I need this streaming service? Do I need these non-essential things, or do I need to get food at the grocery store first? This is something every Washington family will have to contend with if they've overspent. And if they didn't get a pay raise that year, which is similar to not getting a lot more revenue in the state budget, right? Then they have to find ways to cut back. And this is normal actions for every family budget in the world, I should mention. But only government is allowed to go steal from its neighbors in the form of tax increases when they've spent too much. And imagine if your neighbor spent more than they had in income and decided to come over to your house and steal your stuff in order to fund their spending habit. You would think that's wrong. You would think that's a crime. You would think that's unfair. But this is exactly what Democrats in state government are doing right now. They're basically saying they're being lazy. We don't want to solve the problems. We don't care about if the money we're spending is resulting in actual results for the people of Washington, and it's not. We don't care if it's unaffordable to live here. We're just going to keep doing it. We're not going to cut the waste, the fraud, the abuse out of government spending. We're just going to continue to get more tax money from you. And that's the wrong direction. People in Washington state have nothing left to give right now. They have given it all. And that's why I proposed this no new tax budget, and to
cut the reckless spending and the waste in government, because my budget does not ask people who have nothing left to give a single dime more.
Let me ask you a question. What kind of support are you seeing for your proposal? Are you seeing any Democrats come on board and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, it actually, especially around the holidays, people are stretched really thin. You're just trying to make it work. This idea sounds pretty nice. Let's not take more money from these people. Is there anybody stepping up?
I have talked to some Democrat lawmakers who are still looking at it. It's barely a week. It's not even a week old yet. So they're looking at it and they're asking more questions. Even the Office of Financial Management has asked me about some of the ideas that I've had in the budget framework, and that's Governor Ferguson's OFM. So there's some interest there. But part of the problem I've seen, just my experience in Olympia especially the last couple of years, is that there are reasonable Democrats who I really get along with and you could solve problems with. But they are definitely afraid of the radicals in their caucus and how they will be treated with the very heavy progressive base, right? So sometimes they shy away from stepping in and, doing what's right for the people of Washington because they will get absolutely hammered politically for it.
Sure.
I think there needs to be a collective backbone that needs to be grown in Olympia, a roadkill caucus, if you will, for common sense ideas, because a lot of the ideas that I'm putting forward are not partisan. They're just common sense. If you don't have any more money, you stop spending it, right? And that's a common sense idea.
Very simple.
We don't tax people more. We start giving tax relief to people when we have an affordability crisis. And so I'm focused on real solutions, and I hope that they see that. And I know that not every idea I have will be adopted by Democrats in the majority. However, it's my job to show that contrast and to present those ideas for working class people here in Washington.
All right, we're talking to Travis Couture. He is the House Republican budget lead. We're talking a little bit about spending in our state, which is very important. It affects all of us. Talking about people who just don't have any more money to give. There's a couple of things that drive me wild, like this whole CCA spending thing. We've been focusing a lot on that on the show. And, the Department of Ecology is not willing to show you the numbers that they're using to justify forcing people to pay more money for things that they used to get for cheaper, like gas. So that's one thing that drives me wild. Another thing that drives me wild is this Representative Sean Scott's proposal, this new tax on businesses that make over $7 million. Any employee who makes over $125,000, the company would be taxed at 5%. What would something like that do to businesses here locally if that ends up passing? How's that going to hurt businesses?
Yeah, a 5% payroll tax. I mean, to most normal people, they're just like, oh, that kind of sucks, but it's just 5%. That sounds like a small number maybe in your head, right? But it is not. It is a catastrophic number. It is that 5% payroll tax would be like a economic nuclear bomb falling on our state. And just to point out, they did this exact thing in Seattle, and a lot of the big businesses immediately fled Seattle and moved up to Bellevue, and
we played a cut. We actually talked to the mayor of Bellevue, who was like, hey, listen, I can tell you in real time, watching as businesses contacted the city, relocated to Bellevue. It's a very short drive. I mean, you can literally see it from Seattle. Relocated to Bellevue because it's a friendlier tax environment. And Bellevue sees the benefit of that. But something like this passes statewide, and those businesses are not relocating to Bellevue anymore. They're just leaving.
Absolutely. They'll go to Idaho. They'll go to Arizona. They'll go to Texas. They'll go to Florida. And as a matter of fact, Washington State right now, we are losing 43 taxpayers a day. In this state, people are already fleeing to friendlier states with lower costs of living and with lower taxes. And if you want to attack, if your goal is to attack the big quote unquote rich businesses, those are also our biggest employers, and they're more mobile than ever before.
I know. It's wild that there's a cut. Brandy Cruz was at this propose. I don't know what it was. He was in Olympia, standing on the steps and making this big announcement about this tax. And she asked Representative Scott, I'm sure you heard the clip, but she asked him about his thoughts on these businesses that he's holding up and saying, oh, these are the businesses that are going to be paying. But it's a lot more than just the Amazons and the Microsoft. There's a lot of small businesses out there who this would just kill.
Well, and as a small business owner myself who employs people, often small businesses are like vendors to the large businesses. So there is this downstream effect that harms us all when you harm the biggest employers in our state. And I understand, like, it is lazy to say, we're just going to tax the big employers. We're just going to tax the rich people. These are like the most sophisticated companies with armies of accountants and lawyers. They will find a way to shield the money anyway. They'll never actually end up paying it. And if they are forced to pay it, they'll just move. They'll just move like Elon moved all of his operations from California. They'll just move like Bezos moved to Florida. I mean, they are mobile. They have lots of money. They can shield their money in multiple ways. They're the most sophisticated taxpayers in our society. And that's why things like a wealth tax won't work either, because it really relies on a handful of people paying all the money.
They also are already shouldering a huge burden. I mean, like when you look at a person like Jeff Bezos who comes into Washington, I mean, I know he's, is he from Washington originally? I don't think he's from Washington originally. I think he moved here in his 20s or 30s or something.
Right.
Anyway, he starts a business here. And Seattle has been so fortunate. Washington has been so fortunate that they have just kind of by dumb luck and chance ended up having these amazing world-changing businesses that were born in the soil of our beautiful state that end up benefiting them, and then they kind of end up just acting like a rich kid, where it all just kind of comes easy. Like, think of all the businesses that are here, or at least started here. Boeing, Starbucks, Microsoft, Amazon. I mean, when you think about businesses that have changed the world, and then you also, in the same breath, you start talking about how they want to tax these people in a way that they're now saying, oh, well, it's immoral for them to have so much money, and it's so horrible for Jeff Bezos. The guy picks up and leaves. When he starts another multi-billion-dollar business, you think he's going to start in Seattle? No, not a chance. And then who's going to benefit from that? Wherever the new place is that he starts that business. I was looking at the numbers the other day. I think Amazon in Washington State employs, they're the largest employer by far. They employ something like 250,000 people in our state. And the economic benefit of Amazon in our state in the last 10 years is something to the tune of like hundreds of billions of dollars. Or over the lifetime of Amazon, hundreds of billions of dollars. Now imagine if we didn't have that money coming into our state, paying those really high salaries for everybody who works at Amazon and then pays those taxes. That all benefits the state. It's not that Jeff Bezos is greedy because he's moving out of state. They're trying to pick his pocket extra. So what are they supposed to do?
Right, exactly. And this is exactly what happens when you tax innovation and when you tax wealth creation and when you decide you want to tax success. It's fundamentally wrong and it's greedy, right? It's okay to want people to pay their fair share, so to speak. But I'll just tell you, as a small business owner, I'm not even one of the big guys, right? But as a small business owner, I paid more in taxes to our government than I paid myself in this last year.
Wow.
And that is an incredible burden on every small business owner. I'm not unique. There is a lot of people who pay themselves less or pay themselves equally to the government, and oftentimes just the state government, not just the feds, right? But that is a result of all of these tax increases. I have a business owner friend that has to pay an additional $1,500 a month, basically because of this new digital advertising sales tax that Democrats passed last session. And what that inevitably means is more automation, less jobs for people, less pay raises for people. When you tax the big corporations, do you think they just go away? No, they're just going to eliminate some of the lower end jobs that people rely on that have good benefits, medical, health, vision, dental, whatever it may be, right?
Completely.
401ks. And it's like, you can't do that forever and expect to get away with it. They will move. You're absolutely right.
And you know what? I was talking, I'm not going to say his name. I don't know if he'd want me to share it, so I'll protect his identity. But I was talking to a friend of mine who runs a very, very popular, large food company that people enjoy all the time. And if you're listening to us right now, you're probably enjoying one of these products. But it's a local company. And we were talking about this prospective tax on this 5% employee tax that they're trying to get passed again. And he goes, listen, here's what's going to happen. You're just going to have people say enough is enough. You're going to have a big company like Starbucks, who was born here and bred here and kind of made Seattle their home. They don't have to be here. Just like you were saying, Travis, a second ago. These companies don't have to be here. They can be other places. It's very easy to move. You have a lot of employees that maybe stay here. They don't even necessarily have to leave. You just take your corporate headquarters somewhere else. And that's what's going to happen. And before people wake up, like, when will they finally wake up and just stop doing this?
Absolutely. And that's why it's very concerning to me to see our state, policy-wise, but also economically, careening in towards socialism. Socialism does nothing good. It has never done anything good in the history of mankind. And the further we go down that path with things like rent control, and I mean, you just go down the laundry list, these super extra taxes. And here's the thing, they never say we need progressive taxes like an income tax or a wealth tax or a payroll tax. And then they don't roll off one of the other taxes. It's not like they're going to eliminate sales tax or B&O tax.
Yeah.
They never propose that. It's just additive on top of everything to have this government, because they say they want it to fund social services. But it's like, well, we paid like double, more than double, sometimes triple, quadruple over the last 10 years for these same things. And we haven't gotten anything more in return. What services are you getting back? And then what results are we getting? Billions of dollars into housing and homelessness.
That's it. It's
for
the results.
problem to only get worse.
Yeah, it's got to be all based on results. It has to be people looking at it and saying, hey, you know what? The perception of doing something good and the actuality of doing something good are two very different things. And if it's not getting the results that you want, then stop dumping money into it. It drives me crazy.
One of the crazy taxes, real quick, that I've been keeping my eye on is, they've threatened to propose a vacancy tax, which is a tax for businesses who are trying to flee our state.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, like on grocery stores who are forced to leave because of vandalism or whatever.
And crime and other things, right? But if you're they want a tax to where if a business is like, hey, I've had enough, just like what we're talking about, they're going to tax you on your way out just to leave. I mean, that's nuts. That should be a signal to you.
Yes.
If you have to propose that, then you're doing something wrong.
You mentioned socialism a second ago. You think about these countries, these socialist countries, where they end up having to build these walls. They're not building those walls and fences to keep people out. It's to keep people in. And what you're describing right now is the exact same thing in the tax system. You're literally like trying to create a barrier for companies to leave. Now, why would you have to make a barrier like that if it's such a great fertile ground for businesses to thrive? And then businesses are not going to want to, they're smart. They don't want to come and start a new business in Washington State where it's incredibly expensive and all this like effort and all this stuff goes into it that you have to like put on the line yourself. And then how are you even benefiting? All right, we're totally out of time. That's Travis Couture. He's the House Republican budget lead. He's a great guy. Follow him on X and check him out. Travis, I really appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks. Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas to you and your family. And we're looking forward to a great new year. We'll talk to you then.
All right, bye.
All right, we got an update on a story next that Charlie Harger had with us last week about a homeless child living in a tent. Just a tragic, horrible story. We got a huge reaction from the audience, and we have an update that is actually going to uplift your spirits a little bit before the holidays on that one. So stick around. Charlie Harger joins us next. We will be right back.
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas from the team here at Seattle's Morning News.
He is Charlie Harger. I'm Amanda Factor. 2025 has been a really great year. It's so great to be back together on the radio, Charlie.
It's been nearly 25 years that you and I have known each other, and this has been a great start to what I hope is a long partnership together.
Thanks for being with us every morning on Seattle's Morning News. We appreciate you.
And we look forward to having you join us in the new year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at Seattle's Morning News.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
10 athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical and mental breaking points. You are the fittest of the fit. Only one of you will leave here with an iFit contract for $250,000.
This is when mindset comes in.
Someone will be eliminated.
Pressure is coming down.
Trainer Games on Prime Video January 8th. Watch the trailer on trainergames.com.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Guys, if you're worn down, putting on weight, dealing with low T symptoms, or ED, something's off. Ignoring symptoms doesn't fix the real issue. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering free full diagnostic panels. A $400 value. It checks testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. The key areas that reveal what's driving low T, ED, and more. Plus, qualified patients get up to 25% off select treatments now through year end. This gives you a clear answer on what's off and the steps to improve it. Over 120,000 patients have trusted Revive since 2011 because the results are real. Claim your free full diagnostic panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
What a good move I made. Let me tell you a quick story. I've done a whole bunch of races and a bunch of other stuff like that, and my left hip started bothering me about 5 years ago. And I go to the doctor, and he's like, you need a hip replacement. I was like, I'm 60. Yeah, we're going to ask you to wait a little while because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to go into the grave at the ssame time. I said, what do you do about all this pain? Well, you could, aspirin, and you could continue to do this and that and, sleep with a pillow between your legs. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Then I was talking to Bob Stelton over there at the sports department. So he went to Dr. Mark Wagner, and I think he had his hip done as well. So I go in there. I said to Dr. Wagner, can you fix my hip? Takes a look at the MRI. Yes. So I got the stem cell procedure. I'm telling you something. This is the best. If you've been thinking about, surgery for your knee, your wrist, your shoulder, or hip, no. Check out Dr. Mark Wagner and go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Join Northwest Hope and Healing for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration benefiting local breast and gynecologic cancer patients. Get your tickets now for January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Governor Bob Ferguson appears to do an about-face on taxing the wealthy in our state.
We need to look to the future. We have a regressive tax system, and that's an understatement. And look, we need to change that.
Ferguson says Washington state's lower-income residents pay a far higher percentage of their incomes to taxes than wealthier residents do. He's proposing a new tax on people who earn more than $1 million a year. It would not be based on someone's total net worth. He insists his proposal is different from the wealth tax lawmakers had proposed, and he refused to endorse last year. He says at the time, lawmakers were counting on using a wealth tax to balance the budget when there was no guarantee the new tax would hold up in court. Bellevue police believe the death of a 27-year-old woman last month was suspicious. Now the King County Medical Examiner has ruled the death a homicide. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
When police arrived at the home on Northeast 10th Street, they found Rashitha Sabanini unresponsive. She was pronounced deceased at the scene, and officers noted her death was suspicious. Monday, the King County Medical Examiner ruled she died from strangulation. Here's Bellevue PD's Drew Anderson asking for the public's help.
Maybe they saw something on October 27th in the area around Northeast 10th Street. Please contact us. We're never going to turn down a tip.
Anderson says there's no ongoing threat to the community. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle police say a 28-year-old woman is behind bars after she assaulted two state troopers and a cop in Tukwila yesterday. Police say the officers were investigating a crash that followed a domestic disturbance. Officers say the woman became aggressive with a man who was involved, so they put her in handcuffs, and she started kicking the troopers and spitting on a Seattle cop. She was booked on 3 counts of assault. Well, today's expected to be the busiest day of the Christmas travel season at SeaTac Airport. KIRO 7's Ranji Sinha has been talking to passengers.
What do you do to cope? Because there's so many people traveling around this time of year. What do you sort of do to cope with all?
Well, I would say we come at the crack of dawn and leave on the first flight.
SeaTac is expecting 159,000 passengers today alone. And now your KIRO News Radio traffic brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Speaking of the airport right now, it's looking the best that it has in the past few hours with a backup halfway down the expressway. Earlier today, that backup stretched on to 518 and was all the way back into South Center, so a huge improvement. South 5 heading into Seattle, you're slow at Lake City Way to I-90. Linwood to Seattle's a half hour. North 5, you've got a brief backup through Northgate right now from an earlier stall that was blocking. South 405, this backup continues to grow. We're now heading from Bellevue all the way to the Renton Landing. Bellevue to Renton, give yourself a half hour. The ultimate tribute to rock, Hairball, comes to the Emerald Queen Casino April 2nd. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Hairball, April 2nd, only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. And now your weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. No rain in the forecast. And no sun either. Cloudy all day and cool with a high peaking right around 46 in Seattle. It's 42 and cloudy in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. Charlie Harger joins us right now from Seattle's Morning News. Charlie, welcome back.
Good to be back. Thanks, Jake.
You know, we got a lot of text messages, by the way, from our conversation we had yesterday about, just taking this time of year to not only focus on making sure you're feeling your best, but also, focusing on other people and, looking for lightness in the dark times.
Yeah, I got a lot of great feedback on that. It's just so important, especially around the holidays. I know it can be a real downer for a lot of people. They are always trying to, live up to expectations. You don't always need to do that. So, yeah, thanks for the feedback.
You're chasing something that's an illusion.
Yeah.
Often. Yeah. And people lose track of that. And then you start. It is weird, isn't it? At the end of that, I mean, you have a story that we're going to update on here, which is an important one. I'm glad we're doing it. But it is interesting that we do this as humans, where we set expectations for ourselves, sometimes unrealistic, sometimes it's by the year, sometimes it's 10 years down the road, whatever it is. And then naturally, most of us are procrastinators, so we don't get to all those things. And then by the end of the year, we're finally starting to try to knock some of those things off the list, but you can't do it all in a month.
No, you can't.
And then you go, I haven't lived up to any of my stuff. Do you do any goal setting?
Sometimes I do. Back in the early 2000s, Dory had a really big segment on that, and he spent a few months talking about the importance of goal setting. This is like back in 2002, 2003, and so on his show, he'd always talk about the importance of setting goals. And I've always tried to kind of set at least some goals for the year. Your aspirations live up to that.
Sure.
So yeah, I think that's an important thing to do.
I'm so glad you brought him up because I learned it from him. I produced his show for years, and he was a very dear friend and mentor to me. I had never really taken it seriously, goal setting. Yeah. You have aspirations when you're a kid. Everybody wants to be a pro baseball player when you grow up, but that's not really that's a goal. You can set that as a goal. Yeah. I won't take that away from a goal. But there is also a thing that he taught me where you set out at every year, and my wife and I still do this, and he taught me this back when I was producing for him. And I kind of at the time just kind of laughed at it, and then I tried it.
Right.
And there is a magic to it. And what we do is every New Year's Eve, we sit down with a pen and paper, and we think about the year ahead. And what are some of the things that we want to do in the year ahead? And we write these things down.
Right.
We set a list. And then we do a 5-year list as well. And so we say, all right, the next 5 years, what are some things? And that's a list we hold on to. And sometimes it grows, and sometimes you notch things off. But it is amazing when you look back, when you take that list,
write it down
from the previous year, and you look back. I have lists going back to like 2015 is when we started doing this, maybe 2014. The dreams that you have years ago become reality over time if you just little by little implement, do little things to make those things happen. And then sometimes, like Dory was saying, you're not even actively working on it. Your brain is just working on it as you're sleeping, even trying to figure out how to come up, how to attain those goals. And it's just a really fun thing. I tell it to everybody who will do it.
I guarantee you that you are going to be getting texts that people are going to say, I remember Dory talking about that way back when, because that was something for him that was always such a big thing, was goal setting, and writing it down specifically is what he always recommended.
Yeah. It's so impactful. I'm so glad you referenced that. That's fun.
Yeah.
All right. We have you in here because we have an update on a story that we talked about that I think shocked a lot of people when you came on to tell us about this. And this was last week. You had a story about a tragic story about a kid who was kind of falling through the cracks.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So this is a boy in a tent, 9 or 10 years old. This is a boy who lives in a tent somewhere in North Seattle off of Aurora Avenue. His mom is a sex worker on Aurora. She's also addicted to fentanyl. Dad is somebody who has spent a lot of time behind bars for crime, currently working a low-paying job. So they live in this tent. The mom would bring Johns back to the tent. The boy was told to wait outside while she conducted business. Dad would be gone for long stretches of time. Mom would abandon the son, this kid, in the middle of this park in this tent for hours. Neighbors said sometimes even days.
Wow.
The neighbors describe him as not going to school at all, like ever in his life. They describe him at the time as being really sick, too. One neighbor said just a few weeks ago, she saw the boy, had green mucus, a terrible raspy cough. So rough situation. And what compounded it was SPD had been out multiple times, and they did not find any immediate danger to the child's health. So there was food there. There was a tent over his head.
Technically shelter.
Yeah. CPS was out there, and they cited the Keeping Families Together Act, which basically in Washington State, you can use drugs in front of your kid. You can commit spousal abuse in front of your kid. A whole laundry list of things you would think would get CPS involved, even not going to school, truancy. CPS says there's no immediate harm here, therefore we can't intervene, and the child remains in the tent while the mom conducts prostitution, while drug use is in front of this kid, and he gets left alone for hours every day.
Can you imagine being, and I know you've spoken with the neighbors, you've spoken with police officers. Can you imagine being a neighbor of this kid and watching him? I mean, I just thinking to myself,
they're blown away.
And not just the shock that the system could be so heartless to think that this kid is safe, which is what they're saying,
right.
But to also be there, you yourself are constrained by you can't open your home to this kid because the parents would be like, why are you trying to steal my kid?
And neighbors offer just that. They
You
say,
would want to.
He can stay in my bedroom. He can use my shower. They were offering so much help. I even watched as outreach workers offered the mom and the kid a place to stay with his own bedroom, his own bathroom. The update here, though, is that neighbors now tell me that they don't have specifics. The tent now sits empty, and they have been told that the boy is receiving medical attention.
Oh, good.
And that, fortunately, there is some level of involvement from authorities aimed at getting the boy the help he needs. Don't know the specifics. There are all sorts of privacy rules, but that tent is now just in the middle of a park. It hasn't been occupied for several days now, and it sounds like some level of help is coming to that child. I just want to bring up real quick, not only did listeners to the Jake and Spike show reach out to me, but so many listeners of Seattle's Morning News texted, they emailed, they called, wanting to know what they could do. I mean, we had several listeners go out with food and clothing, hoping to find the boy. I didn't say exactly where this tent is.
Yeah.
They went out. I had a lot of people calling me saying, I have a roof over my head. The child can come stay with me. And I think that just really speaks to our audience. Think about this holiday season. We hear so much negativity in this world. This audience wanted to reach out with open arms and help this family. And I think here we are. It's almost Christmas, Jake. And I want everybody, if praying is your thing, whatever gets you through the night, I want you to think about this family. I hope the mom can get the help she needs. Dad is somebody who can finally accept help. And for that boy, maybe he can live the childhood that he otherwise wasn't going to. I mean, we saw the direction the story was headed. Maybe this is something that turns it around.
It's a very uplifting end to a very dark story. Thank you so much for bringing it too. I mean, that was my response when you first brought this story to us. I went home and my wife, she listens to the show and she couldn't believe her ears. And we prayed. We're a praying family. We prayed for that kid and we were praying, hey, please open a door, have something happen, have somebody get this kid some kind of help to give him a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, think about all the stuff that we bend over backwards to try to give our kids. And then you have a kid who's living outside. And it really puts into context what's important in life. And anyway, thank you for bringing the story to us.
My pleasure.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Retirement used to feel like something way off in the distance, and suddenly it's not. And like so many of you, I want to make sure the money I've spent a lifetime saving will actually last. That's why I work with Trajan Wealth. Ursula Roytine here. My husband and I recently sat down with Marty, and she took the time to understand our goals, our financial situation, and what we want the next chapter to look like. And because Trajan Wealth advisors are fiduciaries, they're required to put your interests first. The plan she came up with isn't shaped by commissions or products. It's shaped around our lives. Trajan is veteran-owned, and they specialize in helping people with $500,000 or more in savings build a smart, long-term strategy. So if you're starting to think seriously about your retirement, start with a team I trust. Call Trajan Wealth at 206-656-3300 or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC-registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear out. You won't believe the difference. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. With Heritage Homecraft, custom means built from scratch just for you. Our own craftsmen, not subcontractors, will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it all off with a brand new quartz countertop. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new Heritage Homecraft kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
This is Lynn. She's always been active, maybe a little too active back in the day.
When I was 19 years old and immortal, I stripped out all my ligament and I had to have 6 knee surgeries, and that's on my right knee. And then my left knee finally gave out and had a torn meniscus.
Years of pain followed until she saw Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm 4 months out and I have no pain in my knees, and I have had knee pain my whole life. I have no concept of what it was like without pain. It's a miracle. I'm totally thrilled.
No pain, no limits.
Dr. Wagner gave me the green light to ski again this year. I'm like, that's incredible. So I'm just so excited.
After years of surgeries and setbacks, Lynn finally got her freedom back.
I think he saved my legs, so saved my knees, and gave me at least another 10, 15 years to do what I want to do.
If joint pain is holding you back, find out what stem cell therapy could do for you with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Well, the wet, chilly weather has certainly arrived. It's Mike Salk here, and if your attic and crawl space are well insulated, your home should be fine. Should feel cozy and warm without your furnace having to work overtime. But you'd be surprised to learn how many homes in Western Washington lack insulation in these spaces. It's why you call Crawl Pros. If you're feeling cold drafts or seeing that heating bill spike, now's a great time to learn if you got anything going on behind that crawl space or attic by calling Crawl Pros. They'll come out to your house just like they did to mine, do the corner-to-corner inspection. In my case, they found the problem, showed me the pictures, and then they got it all fixed. Now, if they do discover your home is under or improperly insulated, they'll show you all the utility rebates that are available to help you get the work done correctly. Like if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could get a rebate to cover up to 95% of the cost of the insulation job. If you're worried anything is going on in your crawl space or attic, including critters, water intrusion, mold, plumbing issues, anything, call Crawl Pros and schedule your free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
John Curley here. We value things that last. Local businesses, relationships, community. That's Madrona Financial and CPAs. They've been serving Washington families for decades, combining taxes and investments under one roof. Most firms just do one or the other, but not both. That's why Madrona offers the Madrona Analysis, a simple review of income, taxes, and investments in one plan. Call 833-673-7373 for your complimentary Madrona Analysis. Madrona Financial and CPAs. Local, trusted, and here to put the whole picture together.
Hurry, time's running out. Check off the wish list with instant savings and free battery offers on select steel tools. Shop online or in store.
Thank you to all of our great KIRO News Radio listeners.
This is the moment
for making the 37th year of Holiday Magic our biggest one yet.
It is a celebration that benefits Treehouse.
Thanks to your generosity and the important work of Treehouse, kids in foster care will have the holiday they wished for.
We ask you to give. You do. You always come through.
You can still donate. Just head to mynorthwest.com/holidaymagic.
All right, welcome back to the show. I am so excited. Christmas break is coming up. Just a few more minutes before our show ends, and John Curley's going to be in here, and you're going to have a great time with him. But this is my opportunity to say my end of the year salutations and my wishes for you and your family. So I'm going to get to that in just a second. But before I get to that, I want to thank you all for texting in today. We had a lot of great conversations on the text line, which was really great. It's just fun to be able to make a connection with people, and I really do appreciate you guys listening. It is the holiday season, and it means a lot to me that you guys choose to spend your time listening to this show. We work really hard to put it on, and so thank you guys so much. It's very rewarding for us to have you guys listening. It's really great. I learned that from Dory Monson. It's a blessing to be able to do the show, so thank you guys for providing us that opportunity. I'm going to give you a more detailed Christmas wish in just a second, but first I want to play a song for you that I think about around the holiday season and why I think about it. And I just want to share that with you guys, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. But let me play a little bit of the song first.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
Is there anybody who's got a better voice than Nat King Cole?
Yuletide carols being sung by choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos.
I don't think it's because he smoked. I think he probably had a good voice in spite of the smoking. But it's just like a perfect smoky. I don't know, maybe it is because of the smoking. I don't think it is. And I don't advocate smoking. Don't do it. I bring this song up because we were talking about this earlier in the week, songs that you love and that are meaningful to you and what reason. Most of the songs I love around Christmas time, obviously, are just because it's Christmas time. This one particularly is close to my heart because I remember I must have been 17, 18 at the time. I was working a job. I was a barista, and which was a fantastic job, actually. I really loved it, and I was actually quite good at it. I was one of those baristas who could see you coming from a mile away, and if I saw you parking in the parking lot, by the time you got in, your drink was waiting at the end of the counter, which is how you get tips. That people will tip well for that. Not these days. Actually, these days, they just flip a little screen around, and they stare at you, and you're supposed to tip a bunch of money. But back in the day, you had to do something for extra tips. And so I'm heading into work. I'm 17 or 18. It's Christmas morning, which is also my birthday, by the way. It's Christmas morning, and I'm driving into work, and I worked at this Tully's in, where was it at? It was in, it was a Bothell. It was a Bothell. So I grew up in Snohomish area. I'm driving into Bothell along Highway 9. Highway 9 is very dark in the mornings when there's nobody on the road, especially on Christmas. It's just completely empty and dark. There's nothing. And I'm heading into work. It's icy. It's freezing. I'm not thrilled to be going into work on my birthday. And this song comes on and it's playing. And I remember thinking at the time, as this song is playing and I'm driving into work at 17, I remember thinking like, I'm not always going to be a kid. And I'm not always, and I don't know, I'd consider 17 a kid. And I was wondering like what life is going to look like someday when I'm not having to work on Christmas Day. And there's a lot of people out there who work on Christmas Day, and God bless them. We've all done it. I just didn't know what life was going to look like. And that was a lot of years ago now. I mean, that was like, how many years ago was I don't want to give away my age. But I'm about to turn a 40 number. So a long time ago. And I think now about what life looks like. I've got a wife. I've got 4 beautiful kids that I just adore. Sometimes they're very, very loud. And I've got this job where I get to come in and hang out with you guys and talk about things that we love and things that are meaningful to us and share laughs and stuff like that. It's a huge blessing. And to be able to, I never would have seen this at 17. I never would have thought, someday I'm going to have a radio show where I get to do this for a living and just chat with people and have fun. But you guys have given me that opportunity. And I just want to express my gratitude to all of you out there. And I hope, however, you guys are going to be celebrating this holiday season, that you have a wonderful time with family, that you have some peace in your life. Whatever you might be going through at the end of the year can get stressful, can get kind of hectic sometimes. But I hope whatever life is got going for you right now, at least for a little bit of time during this time, you're able to find some peace in your life, and especially if it can be around the people that you love. And so I am really appreciative of you all, and I hope you have a wonderful Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. And I am thrilled and excited about everything that 2026 has ahead of us. It's wild to say 2026, by the way. I remember writing 1997 on my papers in school. But all right, have a very Merry Christmas. Go spend time with your families. Actually, John Curley's coming up next, so don't go anywhere. Hang out and listen to John Curley. And I'll see you back here in the new year. All right, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day, you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special.
This holiday season, you might not realize you've had a little bit too much to drink at the company party until you find yourself pulled over on the way home for a DUI. This is Jonathan Dichter from DUI Heroes, here to remind you that even good people make simple mistakes. Our team of heroes is ready to help you through this season to make sure you can get back to the things that are most important, your family and your life. Call us now at 1-800-DUI-HERO or find us online at DUIHeroes.com.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home, thanks to the VA home loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain, or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83, or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope, included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
$83, or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
$83, or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
$83, or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Guys, leave weight gain, low T, and ED in 2025. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering free full diagnostic panels, a $400 value. It checks testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Plus, qualified patients get up to 25% off select treatments now through year end. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today.
We're making a difference, everybody. G. Scott here. Thanks to your generosity, more than $2.5 million has been donated to Nourishing Neighbors at Safeway, and those grocery cars have already helped families across Washington. But the need is growing. Rising costs and now massive flooding have displaced families from their homes. Please help. When you shop at Safeway, donate at checkout. Your gift provides grocery cars so families can shop with dignity. Learn more at nourishingneighbors.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio.